On the 5th day of Christmas, Noisy gave to me 5 Persona games. 4 balls that cut in 3 dead ducks, 2 handshaking, and a meet up at LAGC.
Welcome to the Manga Raiders Happy Hour. Today, we will be discussing spoilers for the game Persona 5, as well as 4 and 3. If you haven't already played these games, now would be a good time to pause this recording and do so, or risk the terrible burden of slight disappointment. If you are prepared, then please enjoy the rest of the podcast. Oga.
Hey, Nair.
Yes?
Do you remember the 23rd of December, 2015?
I barely. I can't remember what I had for breakfast this morning. You'll have to fill me in.
I mean, I couldn't tell you what you had on for breakfast, but I can tell you what happened on the 23rd of December.
What's that?
That was our very first inaugural Personacast. And it sounded like garbage, but we vastly improved.
I hope.
But you know what today is? The 3rd of June, 2017. Mm-hmm. It's the second Persona cast. Woo! Welcome.
Second of, I hope, many.
Hopefully many. I could talk about Persona forever. You could, I'm sure, as well. And that is very much what we are intending to do. I'm Vacant. That's Nairbonds. This isn't Happy Hour. This is the Persona cast. So you've already heard off the top. If you have not played Persona 3, Persona 4, Persona 5, please do so. They're really good games. Come back to us in a few hundred hours when you've done it, because there is going to be spoilers here. From here on out, there's going to be full-on spoilers. We are going to spoil the shit out of all those games. So, we are going to focus on Persona 5 anyway today. We focused on Persona 3 and 4 back in the past, but that's very much in the past. We're looking now at Persona 5. Came out on the 4th of April, and we buried ourselves pretty deeply into it. We both completed the game now, so we can talk about it. We've been waiting for this for a while, so we can finally just unload on all our opinions and stuff. Can you remember what your final playtime... Well, how many hours have you spent on the game, Brian?
I'm about halfway through New Game Plus, and I think I'm at like 130 hours.
Okay.
Please don't tell my family members. I don't want to disappoint them.
My first playthrough, I have not done New Game Plus yet. I want to leave it for a few months so I can go back and take my time with it. Mine is 103. I'm weighing in. So we both 100 plus hours on this game.
Oof. Yeah.
Which is fucking loads. Oh, it was good. But damn, was it worth it. It was worth it.
I think it felt like it went by faster.
It really did. This is the weird thing. When I think back to the game as a whole, I feel like it's not a long game.
No.
But it was. I feel like it was shorter than Golden, than Persona 4 and Persona... Well, I haven't finished Persona 3, but, you know.
Because the other two, I think I clocked in around like 70.
Yeah.
I remember.
I remember I grinded the shit out of Persona 4 Golden. Like, really grinding, trying to get everything on the first playthrough, and I clocked in about 89 hours.
Dang.
But I remember I was I was at the final boss and just really, grinding in the dungeons for hours and hours, so I easily added a dozen hours on top. Pardon me. Jesus. Woo! Yeah.
Off to a good start.
We are off to a good start. We are going to jump into it because we could just ramble for a couple hours about Persona, but we're going to be more structured than that. We're going to pull it apart piece by piece. So I guess a bit of backstory was that we've been waiting for a while for this game, and we were excited, shall we say? On a scale of
I could say that, yeah.
So we finally got it.
And then, between all the pushbacks and delays, and then further delay for the English version, which I think just has to do with all the different visual flares, trying to translate, the word art.
Yeah, I never really think about that. There's a fucking lot to translate. That is an unenviable task for any of these Persona games to attempt. So they've done a good job, irregardless of whoever did it. But eventually, it came out. It came out in April 7th. Fuck you, Manimal. No, April 4th. It did come out this year, so fuck you for saying it never would. I'm only joking, I love you really, Manimal. But we're going to start off. We'll start with sound. Let's start with the sound of it. So let's dive right into Persona 5, our analysis right now. So Nair, music.
Yes.
The OST and the soundtrack of Persona 5. What did you think?
I have Rivers in the Desert and Life Will Change pretty much going through my iPod nonstop, it seems like. And then every once in a while I'll load up Wheels of Fate from the casino level.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. Okay, you've pretty much taken my points because I was going to say Life Will Change and Rivers in the Desert are, for me, absolutely the two greatest songs by a country mile for me on the soundtrack. They're my two favourites. Definitely the two standouts for me. Overall, though, how did you find the music in the game? Because Persona, for me, I always feel like they have a very high standard when it comes to music.
Yes. Shoji Meguro has done a phenomenal job with each of the games that he's done. I think 3, we said, started out with kind of a weird R&B rap kind of feeling mixed with a little J-pop.
Yeah.
4, I think, was like just straight J-pop. And now 5, they described it as acid jazz. And boy, they got the bassist. They got their money's worth, because those are some sweet bass lines in there.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's really jazzy. Like, as soon as the first time I heard Beneath the Mask, which, oh yeah, that's another one. Beneath the Mask I absolutely love. As soon as I heard that one, yeah, I really felt the jazz feel to it. Overall, a fantastic soundtrack. I really, really enjoy it. Obviously, the Velvet Room theme, Sound of the Aria, or whatever it's called, is back. That's always a favourite. The opening, the intro, I liked.
Yeah. I've got because I got the special edition for rich people. And I like that track number 1 is Wake Up, Get Out There. And I popped that into my CD player alarm clock. So I've kind of come to hate it, but at the same time, every day I wake up and, the first song that I wake up to is Wake Up, Get Out There.
I fell into that trap of putting a song that you really, really like and think, this'll get me motivated in the morning, and this alarm, and grown
just
steadily
makes me
to
hate that song.
Yeah. I hate the song. I hate everyone to do with the song. It makes me feel rage. I used to have the second opening of Haruhi Suzumiya, the season 2, because that was a really energetic song. I thought, this is gonna get me out of bed. Now I fucking hate that show. I don't, but yeah, I got the CD as well. I was so happy it got Life Will Change on it. Rivers in the Desert isn't on it, but whatever. By the by. How would you compare it to 4 and 3 in terms of, do you think it's better? Do you think it's slightly worse? Before I ask that, no, I'll backtrack.
Yes. Okay.
The battle music. How did you find battle music? Obviously, we've mentioned River in the Desert. Fantastic final boss theme. I really, really enjoyed that one.
Mm-hmm.
Standard battle music.
I think it was okay. Compared to... Look, I never really liked 4s.
Really?
Because I know... Well, in the Golden, I think you only got the Reach Out to the Truth in, like, the surprise attack battles.
You do, yeah.
But that was the one that played every time in the vanilla version of the game. And I wasn't a big fan of it. And like all the Persona games, you have the one fight music for every dungeon across the game. And you're going to get sick of it.
Yeah.
I love Mass Destruction to death, but, I bought the DLC and I could only go a few pedals at a time, starting out with baby, 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 baby. Ooh, yeah. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Yeah.
I think... Oh, that's interesting, because out of all of them, I'd pick 4 as my favorite battle music, just standard battles. I loved Reach Out to the Truth, and I did love the normal, like, standard battle thing in Golden. I've never played the vanilla one, so I've only played Golden, so... Pardon me, my references would be a bit different. So maybe I wasn't burnt out on Reach Out to the Truth, but I really enjoyed that one. That was the only thing that not that I disliked Persona 5's standard battle music. The diddle-in, diddle-in, diddle-in. It was fine. Is it Last Surprise, I think it was called? The OST.
Yeah.
It was fine.
You'll never see it coming.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it was called.
It blended in, I think, with the fights the more you went along, but it never got, it was never offensive. I never got sick of it.
Yeah. Not sick of it, but I started to turn down the TV and stick some headphones in when I was grinding.
Yup.
It got boring quickly. Not quickly, but it got quickly over 103 hours of gameplay. About 50 hours in, I was kind of a little tired by it. I remember 4th or 5th dungeon, I was just like, shove my headphones in. And just...
Like, even if there was just one extra standard battle for, grinding in Mementos, I would have appreciated something else.
That was the one thing that disappointed me, that there was just one battle song. It was fine, but with the length of the game, I would have, Mementos would have been a perfect opportunity to have an additional battle theme.
And I say that goes for the whole game. I think we said, in the conversation just before this, how in 3 and 4, there were different, walking around town tracks for each season.
Even different areas. You enter a different area, you would get a different song, I remember.
And I think my thing with 5 is I wanted more music. A lot of it kind of blended in with the background and was just okay. I mean, better than most games, but the standouts stood out all the more because everything else was just kind of, all right.
Yeah. I think I very much agree. It's not a complaint about the music itself, it's a complaint of there should be more, or we want more of a variety just because of how long the game is. Would have been awesome, and they would have done an amazing job of it anyway. More tracks, please. But definitely standouts. Rivers in the Desert, Beneath the Mask, and Life Will Change for me. The only thing that compares is Backside of TV. I love that song so much. And there's one in Persona 3 that I can't think of the name, but I won't bore you with trying to come up with it.
And I want to give shout-outs to the Gun Shop.
Oh, yeah.
I really liked that shop music.
It was cool, because it was very different to anywhere else. I remember.
And I'm trying to think, I can't remember, the Doctor's theme, or really any of the level tunes.
I remembered Casino, the Nijima's Palace. I always remember that one. That was good.
The one with lyrics in it, I guess, is what made it stand out.
Yeah. Except for the longest time, I didn't know what she was saying, except when she was just going, I just thought she was literally screaming like Mrs. Doubtfire. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with this woman? The first time I ever heard it.
Worse, not as bad as some of the tracks in 4, because they got someone who could do English lyrics a little better. But that was the biggest, that's what she said, when you go online and find a lyrics video.
Yeah, I had to find the lyrics for that one, because I literally just thought the song was da-da-da-da-da-da, and then just random scream. It was good. Before we move on from the sound, then, voice acting wise, take it you played it as the English, of course. I'm guessing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We are.
And I tried switching over to do Japanese, but honestly, I still prefer English for these games.
Me too. I had a little back and forth with someone on the Reddit, Persona 5 Reddit thread, because they were really just kind of displaying the typical elitist attitude, and it was like, if anyone can play this in English, you're missing out. It's like, I'm not, no, because I'm English. I feel like I'm getting more.
I will gripe, though, that listening on the Japanese, you realize whoever was in charge of the dub made the decision for Sakamoto instead of Sakamoto. And which I can kind of appreciate, because in my mind I still equivocate Sakamoto to "Haven't you heard I'm Sakamoto?"
Yeah.
And that is not Ryuji's character.
I will agree with you. Some pronunciations I thought were a bit off, because that and Takamaki, I'm sure, isn't it Takamaki? Like, there shouldn't be.
I think so.
It's not Takamaki. I'm sure. I mean, I'm no expert. I'll hold my hands up. I'm not a fucking Japanese expert. I'm not fluent in it by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm pretty certain from how I've heard those in the native language, I'm sure that's not how you pronounce them. Not that it.
No.
Again, they're really minor gripes. Like, it was the first time I heard it. I was like,
translation things, like, for whatever reason, like, every time they bring up the Yakuza, it's the Yakuza.
Yeah.
But when you're doing, I think it's Kanashiro's dungeon, they always talk about him as being in the Mafia.
The Mafia, yeah. It's really weird.
Which makes me wonder, is there separate, like, gangs where the Yakuza is the Yakuza, but he's in just some unrelated Mafia group? I mean, I don't know.
He didn't have the tattoos. I thought that myself as well, because I noticed how there was a distinction, it seemed. I don't know whether it was just a mistake, or if they intentionally did that. But again, they're minor. On the whole, I enjoyed all the voice actors. I think they did a decent job.
One gripe.
Go on.
That when they make, Persona 5 Platinum or whatever the hell, please add in more variation to the navigator lines.
Oh, yeah. This is
because, whoa, looking cool, Joker. Whoa, looking cool, Joker. Whoa, looking cool, Joker. It's almost scary how good I am.
Do you know the one that got me was, wow, you're amazing. Oh, no, what was it? You're so amazing, Panther. And the way that Morgana said Panther was really weird. Panther. That's like, it grated on me, that one.
Or really shitting on Ryuji whenever he misses.
Yeah. Fuck you, Morgana. He gave Ryuji a really hard time. Too often.
Yeah.
I do.
I'm not a big fan of Morgana, but holy crap, so much better than Teddy.
Yeah.
And I also enjoyed having a Futaba as the snarky navigator when she took over.
Yeah.
Or just having Makoto being weaknesses only, having multiple voices going on was great.
I liked that Makoto would chime in because she's the strategist. And I really enjoyed that because it sort of happened and it was only a long time after that I started to become conscious of it. I was like, hang on, why the fuck is Makoto talking?
Yeah.
And then I was like, shit, that's good. Yeah, she's chiming in with strategic advice. Yeah, the navigation lines, it was a same complaint I had with Golden, though. I always remember. Just, woo, well done, senpai! Oh, fuck. Resay. That was one that always annoyed me. But yeah, navigation lines were a little bit limited. There was... I was trying to think of something then. There was one thing that bothered me. No, I enjoyed the voices on the whole. Without going into spoilers, the one thing that threw me off was the voice change of Igor, which I mentioned on the Happy Hour a few weeks ago.
Yeah!
The voice change of Igor really threw me off, but it grew on me massively as time went on. I got really used to Igor being David Lodge.
Yeah, and you're right. It wasn't until I started playing with the voice deepening that I realized just how much they pitched his voice down.
Yeah.
And there's another bit of, I don't know, there's something else just besides deepening his voice that I think they did that makes it really interesting.
David Lodge, when he does like Kenpachi Zaraki on Bleach, like he has a really ability. I don't know how to explain it. It's sort of that like gravelly texture, I guess is the best word I can use. And there's just so much like it's such like a dense voice, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. No, I get it. It's
such
gravelly.
It's captivating. Like you pay attention to everything you say. Like I never skipped lines of dialogue when it came to Igor. I mean Haru, fucking admittedly skipped a few there. But
yeah,
most of the voices, in fact, I think everyone's voice I felt suited them. Ryuji, really good job. I really enjoyed theirs. I think it added to the character. Anne was fine.
Specific shout-outs to Sojiro for nailing it on his turn from who is this kid, I don't care, he's just living in my shop, to I'm your new dad.
Yeah. Oh, such a good voice actor. I love the voice actor. He did Detard in Kogios. I fucking love that guy, and I can't remember his name now. It's like, he has like 3 names. I don't know. It's not David Lloyd George, so it's okay.
I know him from playing the first Nier game where he was Papa Nier, so him being, a good dad is already in his wheelhouse.
Yeah.
So, man.
Shiremi Lee, whatever her name is, for Makoto, always does a pretty good job to me. Jameson Price, that's who it was. Jameson Price. Love his voice, really good. I was happy with pretty much all of the voice actors and the voice acting, and the dialogue itself was fine for me. There were some that you were just like, a bit hokey, but...
There's, especially I think with Futaba, where her character is kind of a cringy personality if you're, not connected to internet culture, or if you're too aware of internet culture, where she did an authentic cringe job. Yeah. Which I think it worked well for her, even if you kind of just got to go,
Yeah. Sometimes it was too on, I was like, I get it, she's a shut-in, she played MMOs, I'm leveling up, and blah blah, you're my treasure, la-di-la-la. But yeah, overall, I think it was really good. So, sound-wise, excellent job.
Quality.
On to visuals.
Also, I appreciate... Oh, sorry. Last thing. In terms of sound, I appreciate that they made new little sound effect for, menus and all that kind of stuff, rather than reusing 3 and 4s.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I never even noticed that, but yeah, they did. I loved... this is going to sound really stupid, but I really liked when Morgana turned into the bus, and you just hear the little or when he did the little tackle. It was like a little...
Morgana's laughing meow thing that comes in, every... I love that.
That was cool. I liked it. Oh, God, yeah. There were so many little touches that just... little things, little tiny things that I just really enjoyed. Michelle
For a
Ruff,
game that's... Yeah, it's not a AAA game still.
Yeah.
I think you get real used to the size of Tokyo after a while.
Yeah.
But each thing still has more.
It's like a Star Wars remastered. Everything was so dense. Yeah. Michelle Ruff as Kawakami. I really liked the teacher as well. And Miss Kawakami, that was good.
They are running out of voice actors, though.
The new generation's coming in just as the protagonist, which I thought was fucking Johnny Young Bosch. Do you know when he says Persona? When he shouts Persona, I was like, that's Johnny Young Bosch. They fucking reused the soundbite from Persona 4 when he goes, Persona! Like that. I was like, they've reused the soundbite. They must have. And I was convinced Johnny Young Bosch aided the voice work. And then I looked, and it was some Xander or something his name was. It was definitely not him. I was so confused.
Yeah.
I was a bit gutted.
I'm waiting for my phone call to, join in the cast of 6. That's bound to be there.
Do they need a whiny English person? I can be that social link. I will voice that bad boy. Do you need a preppy guy? I can do posh. Like, could you please come and rescue my persona? I don't even know what that voice was, but anyway. The sound was good. Visuals. Okay, now. Persona 5 was a pretty game. Do you agree with that or disagree?
I agree.
Oh,
I agree. Big much.
Big much. Oh man. Where to start? In-game. I guess we'll start in-game. In-game visuals.
Yeah. Oh. Do you remember? I think it was the first gameplay trailer that came out after the You Are Slave 1 Emancipation, where they didn't show really any of the battles, but they showed the shop menus.
No.
Like, the first thing we're seeing of this game is the menus, because they're the best fucking menus in games.
Man, just the little transitions when you when you press on something and the avatar on screen moved and his hand was the little option. Oh, it's so good. I love the style of the game. Pardon me.
Oh,
it was so good.
Man.
They upgraded the graphics from obviously anyone who's been playing Persona is familiar with PlayStation 2 graphics. We've now got PlayStation 3 graphics, but I've now gone back to finish Persona 3 and download P3 Portable, so I am really appreciating that difference in graphics and quality. But yeah, the animation-wise, everything was crisp. There were so many little transitions and stuff. You just walking around. The world itself, I wouldn't call it a sandbox game in the style of like a GTA or anything. It was quite a linear game
Right.
It was very much story-driven, so there wasn't too much freedom. Obviously, you could choose to spend your free time however you wanted, but I wouldn't class it as a sandbox game, but the world was so alive, I guess.
Yeah.
And there were so many things you could do.
Shadowy, low-texture people walking around in the background made it feel so much busier than past games.
Yeah. You really got a sense that you were in a busy town. You could listen in to conversation. There was so much later on in game because I just... the reason my gameplay went over 100 hours was because probably the first 20 to 30 hours I spent listening to everyone, hearing everyone. There were just tales you could follow, so like outside of the cafe, for instance, you were in a little side street and there was the drunk up the road.
Yep.
And you could just hear the drunk responding to, in-game events. There was the little girl with the mother, like this was all literally on your doorstep.
Yep.
And, I spoke to very few people in Shibuya, but I was just thinking how many people that I didn't bother to interact with and how many stories and stuff that I missed.
Right.
From all these NPCs. Oh.
Because I definitely started using the quick travel menu almost exclusively, like halfway through the year.
Yeah, me too.
And I missed, like, the guitar guy who's outside of the train station, or Tokyo's only black man who's just there for business.
Yeah, I saw that, man. I was like, I'm gonna speak. Motherfucker's a black guy. I'm gonna speak to this dude. I need to see what his shit's all about. I was hoping he was a social link, and he wasn't. Not just because he was black.
Speaking of, like, just little touches, when you go to Hawaii and the take your time loading screen adds a little lay to your character.
Yeah, I love that so much. I took a picture of that. I know that's sad, but I literally got my phone out and took a picture really quick because I just thought it was really cool. Yeah, the chains, the stores, the underground market, like just the in-world itself was really amazing. Palace-wise, not gameplay, but visuals for the palaces. Is there any that stood out to you?
Definitely the casino.
Yeah. Casino is amazing. One of my favorites was the castle. Really enjoyed the castle.
Yeah, because that came early on.
Yeah, like, the castle's your very first palace, and I don't know why, I just really liked that. I guess, I mean, I am a sucker for like fantasy and high fantasy, but yeah I like that one.
Especially like when you're about to get to the dungeon and everything was distorting more.
Yeah, I love that.
Yes, I liked them.
Good. Yeah, I liked how closely they fit the theme as well. Would you have the bank job, the museum heist, the casino is the one that I was after. Don't know why that really eluded me then. And then obviously the prison, the Mementos, the jailbreaks sort of scenario.
Mementos was great. It looked like a Shin Megami Tensei 3 type of area.
Yeah.
Shout out specifically just to the end of the space base one, but anti-kudos to the beginning of that dungeon, because I don't know. I think that was my least favorite, Palace 5.
Yeah.
Or at least the like manufacturing parts.
Yeah, Okumura's Palace, I mean, I've seen a lot online. I agree. Out of all the palaces, it was by far my least favorite. That was the only time in the entire game that it felt a bit of a slog, but it looked like it seemed just a bit generic, and you know.
I think that was the one where you felt like it was routine at that point.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, definitely.
Which is just bummer for Haru.
It's a shame
as a character and everything.
Yeah, we'll cover them characters. I've got something to say about that for sure. But yeah, palaces overall all good. I guess we've gone off about in-world. Yeah, in-world locations, you know, I can't fault them. There was a lot of interesting locations, like you got to go to Hawaii, which was cool. That looked good. So yeah, in-world locations amazing. Character design we'll go on to next. I guess we'll say character and persona design. So, character design, what did you think about the main cast, first of all?
I liked them. There's enough differences, I think, that... Because I went and played, and this is kind of a specific gripe, but going from Fire Emblem Awakening to the sequel, the Fire Emblem Birthright and Conquest, you could tell the character designer had kind of run out of base ideas.
Yeah.
And there was, okay, this is the same haircut and face of this character with slightly different armor, and they haven't gotten to that point yet.
No.
Each character is unique. I think pretty soon we might run low on generic pretty anime girls and boys, but...
yeah, I mean...
Still good.
The trickiest thing is probably the main protagonist, for me. Because the protagonist has to be... He's a blank slate for all intents and purposes. He's your vehicle to experience the story. Obviously, you customize you choose his responses. Everyone else has a defined character, so they sort of tailor their look towards it. Obviously, Ryuji's more punkish, Anne's very fashionista, very much the pretty girl, Makoto's prim and proper, and so on and so forth. But when I first saw the initial shots and character design of the main protagonist for this one, I wasn't overwhelmed. I was just like, nah, he's the Tokyo pretty boy was all I saw. He's just trendy.
He's got glasses.
I didn't like that. I remember I was on the last Personacast, I don't know why, I was really strongly against him having glasses, and I don't know why.
After 4, where everyone did?
Yeah, I was like, I don't like this. I don't know why I was really against the main character who wore glasses. I guess I had some kind of, spectacle prejudice. I'm not sure what was going on in my brain at that time, but...
So here's a question for you.
Okay.
In future games, do you think they'll be able to go back to crawling around the dungeons in just a high school uniform?
Oh, good question. Okay, after 5, I I would like them to carry on having uniforms because that was when everyone...
Interesting.
I think they could, but it's funny you say this because I know this is going a bit off topic, but I am in the process of writing a Persona fan fiction heavily inspired by 5, and this was the exact thought process that the exact question I had to ask myself in this was because I was like, what are they going to be exploring the dungeons in? Are they just going to be in normal clothes, or are they going to have some kind of cool outfits? Because I really liked the outfits for the characters because their normal clothes were a bit muted. As with any Persona, obviously, no one's ever too outlandish, which is what I like. They are quite muted, quite toned down in their appearances, and yet still distinctly different. But they allowed that sort of over-the-top, and also the theming as well. Like Ryuji's, I absolutely loved Ryuji's pirate costume. Really cool. Joker's was awesome. The main protagonist was always looked cool, always looked suave. And Haru's as well. I loved Haru's.
Yes.
Like
when I showed the cast or the art book to my girlfriend, she just pointed out and go, "I love her. Pick her."
This is the thing. I had because we both got the Take Your Heart edition, didn't we? Of the game, and it came with the art book. And when I was installing the game, I was flicking through the art book. Not the wisest, because you could potentially get spoilers. But I was flicking through that, and I was like, holy shit, this character looks really cool. And I couldn't wait to meet Haru, because I fucking loved her character design in the, with the bandolier and sort of, the musketeer hat. That was a really cool look. I did like Yusuke's, but I wasn't keen on his mask, just because I didn't feel like it fit his face properly.
I got used to it, and it helped that he was never in my party until late in the game.
Yeah, actually, I never used. Yeah, that's true. I rarely used Yusuke.
The only one I didn't really like was, I think, Futaba's. But again, she was never around.
Yeah, the goggle thing was. I wasn't too keen on her suit. But then I got why it was what it was. It was like a power suit, like a Gantz-style sci-fi suit, so that's fine. Like a pilot suit, that's absolutely fine, but it just wasn't anything. I kind of like the green boots, actually. I'm lying. I like the green boots. They were cool.
There's aspects of each that I really, really like.
Yeah. But this is the thing, out of all of Persona 3, Persona 4, and Persona 5, I think I liked the character designs for this one the most.
Yeah.
I think. Because I was wondering if it's just because it was present of mind. Because I really liked Mitsuru from Persona 3, Akihiko as well. Excuse me. I'm trying to think of one from 4 that I really, really liked. There isn't really.
I think what got to me is when we played, when 4 Arena and Ultimax came out.
Yeah.
And you had the grown-up versions of the cast of 3 with way different outfits that made them stand out all that much more compared to, the school uniforms from 4.
Yeah.
I think that kind of gave them the push to customize them a bit.
Yeah. I'd like that. And I did like the variation in this one. Like, say, Ryuji looked really good. He was punkish. He was cool. Makoto. Okay, this might be unpopular, but Makoto's design is probably the weakest for me. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I just didn't think she really stood out much.
I agree. The mask is kind of bland on purpose.
Yeah.
The bodysuit, I think, could have been more pronounced with, motorcycle or punk influence. I really like the scarf. I think that saves it from being bad.
I like the studs. I wish they'd gone more over the top with her biker studs, like the spikes. She should have looked like Hawk and Animal from Legion of Doom. Just come in with them and then fucking spiked like hockey chest protectors. That would have been sick. And then like a leather duster or whatever, duster jacket. I don't know.
The only one that I really actually disliked was Akechi, but you could say that was on purpose, because
Yeah, I wasn't too keen on Akechi's, but I got where they were going. He's really regal, he's royal, he's a knight for justice, and like they were really overplaying that, so
he's offensively over the top with his goodness.
Yeah.
Wink wink.
And he sort of said it, didn't he? He's like, this is what I just envisioned someone who fights for justice would look like, or something. I swear he references it.
Yep.
Yeah, it was kind of on the nose with the white outfit, majority white, but I liked it. Obviously, you knew what was coming, so I enjoyed it all the same.
Yeah.
Everyday outfits as well, I enjoyed. Like, Anne's design for me is probably my favourite character in terms of just design choices. Even like her school uniform with the hoodie underneath and like the red tights and stuff and the pigtails. She really stood out and I really enjoyed her character design.
I want to say, compared to past games where you'd be traipsing around the people with the dungeons, so they've all modified their uniforms a lot.
Yeah.
Like, GA had her green jacket. Yukiko was, I think, just from another school.
No, Yukiko was there. She just wore a red...
She just wore that red sweater all the time.
Yeah, and she had a red headband in.
I feel like, except for maybe Haru, who wear her, fluffy pink marshmallow sweater.
Yeah.
This game has the most compliance to school dress code. Except for Ryuji, who's sticking it to the man.
He's got his "Oh My God" t-shirt on.
No more rules.
Yeah, no more rules. I've seen that t-shirt, and I kind of want to get it, but I don't know.
I'm relatively certain I'm getting ZOMG as a late birthday present.
We should wear them together.
Yeah.
Yeah, character design overall, fantastic. Personas we'll move on to now. Personas. Obviously, Persona has a long-standing history with Shin Megami Tensei. They don't tend to differ the designs of pre-existing ones too. Sometimes they do, but not always.
Yeah. They're still using the same artwork by, I think Kazuma Kaneko is the old SMT artist.
Yeah.
And, the base monsters and shadows that you fight are all the same, which, can I take the moment while I'm thinking about it to say, thank God Demon Negotiations are back.
Yeah.
Getting Personas is so much better than the card minigames after fights from previous ones.
That was funny because obviously 3 and 4 don't have the Demon Negotiation. Those are the only ones I'm familiar with. So I'm a filthy casual. I've only played 3 and 4. And so when it came to it, I was like, I don't get to do the SP up or whatever. I don't get to restore any SP with this thing. I've got to negotiate with these. But I really liked that, and it stopped you just fighting shadows. It wasn't until I thought, no, these are the enemies. This is cool. I can sort of get the weaknesses of them. I know who they are, knew what they are. And I like that aspect of, they look like a really cool fucking monster. I want them on my side. Let's fucking do it. Like, rather than, there's a table with a shadow face.
Yeah, I think it just makes more sense, especially in the context of this game.
Yeah. Definitely, yeah, because of the whole cognition and representing. Because you still have the shadows, obviously they were walking around, but then ripping the mask off and revealing their true forms. I enjoyed that. Obviously with the metaverse being linked into the palaces. It was cool.
Man.
I guess we can't move on though without talking about the main cast personas. So.
Yeah.
Arsene. Amazing. Loved Arsene's design myself.
Yes. What a good... of all the starting personas for the main character, Orpheus is lame, Izanagi is really cool, Arsene is just much better.
He looks so cool, Arsene. In fact, I will go one further and say, I enjoyed everyone starting Persona. Every single person started Persona, I think. Zoro, Captain Kidd I liked. I know some people are ragging on Captain Kidd.
No.
I liked
It's
it.
one of my favorite.
He's a fucking skull-faced pirate riding on a boat. Cool.
Yeah.
Carmen was really cool. I liked the design of Carmen,
Yes.
the femme fatale.
I really liked Milady just for having, a giant ball gown dress that's actually artillery underneath.
Yeah, Milady was so cool. Milady is one of my favorites, definitely. The only one that I was a bit meh on was Futaba's, but whatever, like, it makes sense for her character. Like, I like
she's support.
It's a spaceship, it's fine. Like, I wasn't offended by it or anything. But yeah, Captain Kidd, Carmen, Goemon was cool. I liked Johanna as well. It was a bit different. The bike, it fit.
It was. And, I think that's one of my favorite, awakened personas, just because it goes from a bike to a transformer.
Yes, it does. I forgot about that. Because I didn't do her confidant link. I didn't max it, unfortunately. Yeah, I liked it because it fit in with her theme. I really liked when she did spells and she hopped on the bike and did a little donut. It was really cool. Milady was awesome. However, if you were to max out the confidants, this is one of my main complaints for the series. Well, not the series, the game. If you max out them, the Ultimate Personas were a bit of a letdown in terms of visuals.
Yeah. I mean, going from Captain Kidd to, I'm just going to call him Monkey King because I can never remember that name.
Saiten Tensai or something.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be Sun Wukong or whatever.
But I don't like the sunglasses and the spiky helmet hair.
Yeah, riding a cloud as well.
Kinda goofy looking.
Yeah.
From Carmen to Hecate, I think the weird headpiece eyes don't translate well from the sketch to 3D.
No. It doesn't look... That was one that really stood out to me. Carmen was an interesting design. It fit Anne really well. The sort of, like to say, femme fatale. She had the weird men things on the, and she...
Just the cigar, I think, was such a nice touch.
It really conjured, and obviously that was the design choice, was the sort of Wild West badass sort of, female there who doesn't take any shit. And then it went to a sort of shadow demon thing that looked like it came from Zelda games.
Yeah, I mean, I think traditionally, I appreciate what they did where they went from either real life characters or like public domain fictional characters to trickster gods.
Yeah.
Like Captain Kidd was a real life pirate who really died, whereas Sun Wukong is, a creature of myth and legend, and I get what they were going for. I just don't like the designs.
Yeah.
Going from Carmen, the character in the play, who I'm pretty sure dies at the end of Carmen the opera, to Hecate, the goddess of chaos, that should be a slam dunk.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's purely visual. Like, the progressions was cool, and the background and stuff. Like, Futaba's goes to Prometheus, and Prometheus looks like a, what are they called? The Chomper Chains from Mario?
Chain Chomps?
Chain Chomps.
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of, with some flames on it. And do you know the one I've not seen? Goemon. What Goemon went into. So I'm going to search that right now.
I got it. But I maxed out Yusuke's social link the day before the last dungeon. So I only saw it in the last boss fight.
Oh, okay.
And the same kind of goes for Morgana's, which I liked that one.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say Morgana's is probably the smallest offender of this one. I really don't like Haru's just because I fucking love Milady. And I feel like because you've had to change from that to the skull thing,
That's fair.
It was a shame. But, yeah, that's one thing. one disappointment was the ultimate personas for the supporting cast. However, for your main protagonist, the persona choices were really cool. Sataniel, is that how you say it? Sataniel?
Sataniel?
Sataniel. That's the one.
What a good design. I liked it.
And
having it with like the military regalia, like royalty kind of uniform. I liked it.
It's so badass.
It's a good contrast because I didn't really like the design of spoilers, Yaldabaoth, the final boss.
Yeah.
Bit mechanical and kind of thin, like just not as imposing as Izanami no Okami or Nyx.
No, I'd agree. It very much reminded me of like something that you could do with PS2 graphics, if that makes sense. Like,
yes,
it almost felt like they were limited, like there was limitations on what they could design.
Yeah,
which was unfortunate because I really liked the sort of theming behind it, and particularly its attacks where it used the 7 sins.
Yeah. And even compared to just what they did with the Holy Grail fight, I think that was a phenomenal design.
Yeah, the Holy Grail with the sort of track and the
like gears moving inside of it that gets more golden as you attack it.
Oh, that was cool.
That was good. And special shout outs to Shadow Nijima.
Yeah, that was a cool design.
My
That's another one.
favorite boss. I think,
really enjoyed
in terms
that.
of design.
Yeah.
Not all of the, I think, dungeon bosses were winners.
Visually, let me think.
Because you go from the weird pink demon thing.
Kamoshida's were very much, that was a Persona 3, Persona 4 boss. Like, that was a Persona boss to me.
Yeah, with the big tongue.
Yeah, very much a Persona boss for me. Second one was Madarame, which was the pictures, which was a bit different.
Yeah, better.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one.
Very different.
It was nice. It was a bit of a unique mechanism. The sort of Beelzebub fly style Kaneshiro.
The kit's into a piggy bank mech.
It was so weird. I like that one because he's in a little pig. He's in a giant piggy bank. Oh, I like that.
If I didn't hate the fight itself, I would say shout-outs to Futaba's mom as a sphinx flying around.
That was so weird. I wasn't sure how I felt about that one.
I was just kind of uncomfortable, but also fuck that fight.
Yeah, because it gets a bit
with
schlocky.
the stupid ballistas and just, yeah.
Yeah, it's like sort of timed events. Yeah, that one was a bit, yeah. Then you had Okumura, which I kind of liked how you went through the ranks, the robots, but then the robots weren't that nicely designed, I guess, and we're only talking about visuals, so...
Man. And, you get to the boss himself, and I like that he, goes down with one hit, and he's pretty much Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah.
In terms of design.
Yeah. He's Darth Vader and Buzz Lightyear. That's pretty much. We've gone through the casino with Nijima. Shido. I really loved Shido's design of the lion made of people.
His last form, though, is just the Senator Armstrong fight from Metal Gear Revengeance. I loved it. An unreasonably buff politician talking about how he's going to make Japan great again.
I did really enjoy how he just became, like, a bad... He wasn't. He did literally just look like that. I was like, oh, he's just bulked out. Guys, this guy lifts, and that's why he's about to take over Japan.
Yes.
I loved after you'd beaten down his massive monstrous lion and chariot and all that sort of stuff. It's like, I'm just going to rip my shirt off and go to town on you suckers. But it's okay.
And then he's got the, training restrainers on.
I was going to say, he wouldn't look out of place in, Tekken 7. like for how he was designed. I loved it. But yeah, Yaldabaoth and bit meh. But yeah, character design. As a supporting cast, then real quickly, I guess I'll go through. Sojiro, we've gone through. Really enjoyed Sojiro's design. I liked the look of him. Kawakami, I've said I enjoyed. The teachers were all distinct, which I liked. The Kamoshida, I think they did a really good job on. We'll go through this a bit more when we talk about the characters, but just the sneer of Kamoshida.
Yeah.
Oh, it just made me hate that guy. They did such a good job.
Like, you didn't see it until a little bit later in.
Yeah. Like, immediately, he wasn't bad until, like, later. Yeah, like, as you said. I don't know why I was
like,
just parroting
the character, I don't think, the first time you are introduced to him, not in a cutscene you're not in, is he's offering you a ride to school.
Yeah. And then
but
Anne gets
then you
in.
realize, oh no, he's just, like, trying to get with Anne, the high school student.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where we've got a part to talk about the sort of themes that it tackles. Maybe I guess we'll cover that in the plot.
Yeah, because, boy, it's, like, it doesn't quite get to the Persona 3 levels of, like, cosmic dread, but the story here is so much bleaker.
There's some dark themes that I was surprised at in the first part that I wasn't expecting. It was very interesting. So, very quickly, cutscenes. Were you happy with the cutscenes?
One thing that I want to bring up for myself, because I think we mentioned it before in the last Personacast, where I wanted to have customizable characters.
Yeah.
But you couldn't do it because of the anime cutscenes kind of being built in stone.
Yeah.
I think all the Awakening movies where it's in-game CG look phenomenal. They're terrific. They all do a great job. And it makes it, I think, to me, more obvious that whenever they did an anime cutscene, it was a crutch so that they didn't have to model another specific environment for one event. Like when they're in Hawaii in the airport, they didn't have to do the airport. Or when it's the fireworks festival that gets rained out, they didn't have to do that, alley or anything.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
I totally forgot about the Awakenings. The Awakenings look really, really good. I enjoyed them.
So that's my thought. Spend a few more dollars on backgrounds and CG and give me that character customizer. We don't have to worry about the main character having weird silver hair or those bangs you want to clip from 3 or those glasses that you seem to hate from 5.
Fuck those glasses. He didn't even wear the glasses in most of the cutscenes. In the anime cutscenes, he didn't have glasses on for most of them. I was so confused.
I don't know why he has them if he doesn't use them. As a glasses haver, naturally, I need my glasses most of the time. Like, they never have a contacts cutscene where he's just popping them in.
Yeah. I was like, why? I really noticed it on the finale, the last scene. I was like, why has he not got his glasses on? He's moving.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's, there was some, I like when they have anime cutscenes in. It makes it sort of stand out more, the scene. And I felt like there was a few more than there was in 3 and 4. This is off the top of my head, so it could be completely wrong. This is obviously freshest of mind, but I feel like there was a few more in this one. So, like, on the beach in Hawaii, on the plane, that was cool. I like them. It just makes me want a Persona 5 anime, which probably is coming. I know.
Could be. I mean, you could just watch Daybreakers again.
Yeah, I like Daybreakers. That was cool. Although
it was okay.
With Daybreakers, they used the weapons to summon the personas. It was kind of weird.
Yeah. That is kind of strange.
And the, God.
I do want to say, I don't know when we'd fit it in. But I feel like, given the amount of time to make the game and the delays, and some plot points that I think, or not so much plot points, but just characters that are there and then get written off.
Yeah.
I could swear there's cut content. Like, there's a dungeon for your principal somewhere, maybe, because he's okay, but for the anime cutscenes with the trains, where you see them disappearing, and they constantly bring up the transportation minister.
Yeah.
I am shocked, especially there wasn't a great train robbery level.
Yes, that was the one that I thought there was a bit of a gap in. Because obviously a lot of them were heists, and then they didn't have a train robbery, which was made for this game. That's the glaring error. The one that I see that if they do make a Persona 5 Crimson or Platinum, whatever they would call it, that has to be the added dungeon. Has to be a train robbery.
Because that was the one I was looking forward to, and just didn't come.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. To each their own. It's stuck out to me.
I'm actually totally the same. I'm really in agreement with you, because as soon as I realized that obviously you had the museum, you had the bank, you had the casino, the cruise ship to some extent, obviously it's the rich and powerful. When there wasn't a train, I was really gutted.
And just the factory being there's some places where, I don't know, because we didn't have a general gripe section that I don't know if we agreed on when we do that, but there's just aspects of the game I think you can kind of tell were weird. Like, one of them was you get the bag with a gun in it from the gun shop owner. And once you build up enough courage, you can talk to EY, and that's how you start that social link. But you need level 4 confidence, which doesn't come until pretty much naturally the end of the game. And every time you go into the shop, Mona brings up how much of a little scaredy coward you are for not having that level to talk to him. And then you need to go through his entire social link in the first place to even get end level gun customizing, which by that point in the game, it just takes too long to get there.
Yeah. EY was someone who I never got to because I never got that courage, because I fucking grinded it and it took forever. So yeah. It was weird. But yeah.
That, and I don't like the reporter. Like, her story's okay. She's not as boring and bland as Gun Kid, but her perk is such a non-issue if you're playing it at all well.
Yeah. That's something we'll go into now. We will go into characters. Boop, 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 boop.
Yay.
So,
sorry.
No, that's fine, because we were naturally moving on. So, I guess we'll go through the confidants then. Let's not one by one, because that might be a bit too much, but so we've already started with the ones that we weren't too keen on character-wise. I'll say Y never even touched us because I didn't get enough. No, I did get enough courage at the very, very end. I got enough guts. But I didn't even bother because I was trying to max out my other ones, so I didn't even start EY's social link.
He's for sure a new game plus guy.
Yeah.
Because, I got him to about level 3 and just beat the game.
Which is a problem, because I'm interested in what his story is, because you don't really know.
It goes places.
Yeah.
And, like, him and the reporter lady, Oya, and Fortune Teller, I think, are all just and to a lesser extent, Hifumi, except her skills are one that are fucking terrific, and you should go for her anyways.
Yeah, definitely.
And when people said that, hey, she was originally going to be a playable character that got cut, boy, that seems really obvious, huh?
Was she? I didn't know that.
Yes.
Oh, okay, so Hifumi was going to be a playable character. I can kind of see that, to be fair. Yeah, I can see her being a playable character. Yeah, I guess we'll start off then, character-wise. Should we go through who we maxed, so whose stories we explored?
Works for me.
Can you remember off the top of your head who you maxed, or do you want me to go? Do you want me to go through the list? Actually, I'll name them.
Yeah, go through your list.
I'll name them one by one, and then you can tell me who you maxed, if you did or if you didn't. We'll ignore. In fact, no, we won't ignore story ones. First one's Fool, Igor. In fact, actually, we'll ignore that one because that's storyline. Morgana, as a character, what did you think?
Better than Teddy. I think the kind of I'm leaving the party because of angst and jealousy bit. It felt kind of forced and all of a sudden, but it didn't last too aggressively long.
Yeah.
And yeah.
It feels it was a missed opportunity a little bit. Yeah, because it sort of came along and you were like, well, I get that at the beach we sort of made fun of you for being useless and sort of said that, but...
You give so much shit to you,
exactly.
Ryuji. Don't even play.
I was like, the only reason anyone said it was because you fucking rag on Ryuji all the time. Like, you proper go on it, like, you go hard on him, and then he gave it you back and you're gonna bitch about it?
Oh, Skull, you're pathetic. I'm gonna leave now.
Yeah, it's like, oh wait, no, I'm useless. Oh, okay, I'm gonna leave then. I liked the progression of a story. You could tell from a mile away pretty much what was gonna happen. Morgana believes that he might be human. You knew he wasn't. From as soon as you met him, you're like, I'm sure I'm
You're
human.
a shadow.
He's like, yeah,
I've met Teddy.
No.
You might be a human, but you're not.
Yeah, it's
or you might become one, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought that was going to happen, and then the more
surprised it didn't.
Yeah, the more I thought about it, I thought, well, it did happen in 4, so I don't think they're going to do that. And because he's already got a real world form, I just felt they were going to keep it at that. As a cat, Morgana's just a normal everyday cat who meows, and those who've been in the metaverse can understand him. I
guess because he was such a big part of like navigating your actions, because he was constantly in your bag, you knew that he wasn't going to get human-fied, at least through the game.
Yeah.
And not until like the very ending.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, he wouldn't.
But plenty of room for spin-offs, because how would you fit his tiny, Mementos form inside of a fighting game spin-off?
You could get creative with it. I'm trying to think, actually. His little cat. I liked Morgana. He was a bit annoying at times, but I think that was the point. He's supposed to be self-assured, a bit cocky, overestimates his own abilities, feels like he's the brains of the group when he really isn't. That's...
If you have to call him, the worst or most annoying party member in 5, that's a good sign for 5.
Yeah, definitely. Like, he was quite vital, because obviously he was, a source of a lot of exposition. But sort of how, because his memory was foggy, it was quite vague, and his natural plot, as you go through his confidant, levels up automatically through the story. It was fine. I didn't mind that at all. Makoto, Priestess.
Favorite. I'm going to say she was my one girlfriend that I had in my first run.
Okay.
I think, it's kind of weird because I feel like in all the story cutscenes, they kind of push her towards you as the plot girlfriend in just a few ways. Yeah. Like, it seems like you're the dad of the group, and she's not so much queen as mom.
Yeah.
Like, whenever you're caring for Futaba and it's just you two, or when you're sneaking through Sojiro's house and she's clinging to your arm.
I noticed that one. There was that, and there was a couple of moments where she's sort of next to you, but then Anne's there. It was really weird, because, I went through the game, and I was always like, oh, Anne's the canonical choice.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until
and I can see that.
It wasn't until I went online and looked, and the majority of fans out there are saying about Makoto, and they're sure it's Makoto, and I was like, I never got it from my playthrough, which is interesting.
But it's just, I think I liked her story the most. I loved her walking around with the magazine held up to her face and that, week. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, the month before you meet Makoto, when you're out in the real world, you can find her following you. But she's hiding behind like a book or whatever, and when you speak to her, she's I'm just lost.
I sure do love this comic.
Such a nice touch. I love that. Because it happened once to me, and then I saw her again, and I saw her again, and I was like, oh no, this is a deliberate game choice. I love this. That was really, really good. Yeah, I liked the setup for the character. I didn't max her confidant link, unfortunately. I didn't have time, because you need max charm or 4-star charm or something. I didn't have it for the longest time.
Yeah.
So time ran out.
I will say and I think it kind of goes for all the romance options in 5. They are very much tacked on at the level 9, and there's very little difference between, we're dating and, we're just buddies.
Yeah, like, I only did the Anne romance. But yeah, it kind of just seems, it's not even broached until you get to level 9, and then it's like, oh yeah, we're in love. Like, what?
That's us.
Yeah, I've never seen it, but I did really like the setup for Makoto's character, where her life's been preordained for her. She's on the rails. She has to do what her sister, her father was a policeman. She needs to do right by him. She's student council president. Her principal needs her to do certain things, and everyone is dictating to her, and then she wants to rebel. I think she embodies that part, the rebellion of the Phantom Thieves against adults and against the status quo.
Just really that week before she joins, when everyone is just shitting on her.
That was built really well.
I think that is one of the best party member build-ups, because that villain, it's just kind of there being a villain the whole time. Yeah. You don't hate him as much as you really sympathize for Makoto, I think.
Definitely, because you start to see, she's been a bit of a bitch to you, but then at the same time, you're like, I get, she's getting sick of it, and you can just see it, and then she snaps finally and joins you. It's really, really good.
Even Akechi shits on her. That's bad.
Yeah. When Akechi's calling you out, that's not a good sign. Yeah.
You're just the good little student council president, aren't you? Ooh. Fuck you. I'm gonna steal some hearts, jackass.
I'm gonna fuck you up later.
Yeah.
But yeah, Makoto, I liked she was the strategist. I liked how she was the sort of straight-laced student who, was a foil to, I guess, Ryuji's
him.
Yeah. I was going to say negligence, but just basically what he was. She kept you on, as you said, motherly figure. She kind of was. And I enjoyed it. She was a fun character and a good addition to the party. A shame I never got to finish her social link as well.
I will say, I think her social link is one of the weaker party ones.
Okay.
But I think that goes on the whole for comparing 4 and 5, where your party members are all pretty much developed by the time they join your party.
Yeah.
And you're just going through an extra step of that, compared to 3, where they develop through the point of the narrative, like Morgana.
Yeah.
I don't know which one I prefer, but except for maybe Haru, who is way too interesting, but also you need too many stats too late in the game to kind of get.
Well, speaking of Haru, she's the next one, so the Empress Arcana, Haru, what did you think about Haru?
I like the fan interpretation of her character so much more than the bit we get in the game.
Yeah, bit
where
is
she's just like
right.
This barely restrained, almost psychopath with a nice, happy, friendly face.
Yeah, I love very much the Yandere, semi-Yandere version of Haru in the fandom. I think that's really good. where she's a secret psychopath. Yeah, Haru is the one character who I really feel got shortchanged.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot that you could have done, but she just gets introduced too late into the story where, I mean, case in point, her social link, the earliest that you can initiate it, is the 30th of October. The game ends on the 24th of December.
And I think you need max kindness at some point.
Yeah, probably.
Which is the hardest stat to level up, aside from, just going to the stupid flower shop every day.
Oh, fuck that flower. Excuse me. Fuck that flower shop. Good God, I spent so many days in that flower shop. Oh.
Yeah.
I'm getting angry thinking about it. Yeah, no, Haru, for me, was the one that really got shortchanged. Her introduction to the story was natural. Unfortunately, it's just a bit too late in the story. I think it's too late in the game to introduce her. Because in 4, you get Naoto quite late in the game, but Naoto is present and has an impact on the story and is present in the story.
Yes.
Way, as soon as Kanji, which is your 5th member of the...
Yeah.
She is present. You know who she is. You know who
and
they're
even
doing.
Makoto, from the first day you can move around, she'll be in the library just hanging out and studying.
Yeah, exactly. They're there.
But you don't get to Haru, I think, until the Hawaii vacation bit.
You see her in a cutscene with the fireworks.
Oh, yeah.
You see her in a
the
cutscene.
anime bit.
Yeah, but that's it. It's a cutscene. You can't interact with her. If you haven't seen the art books or you haven't seen the cover, then you don't know that she's a character of any kind of significance. One thing that I thought they really dropped the ball, well, not dropped the ball, but I think it was a huge missed opportunity for Haru and could have added some major character depth, is, spoilers for Persona 5, obviously. Her father dies. She wants to change the heart of her father. She is really the only one. Obviously afterwards, Makoto wants to change Sai Nijima, her sister's heart, but before then, she's the one who wants to change the heart of one of her family members, which is a big thing, because most of these people have been unattached. I know, obviously, Futaba, you're changing hers, but she feels like she needs hers changing. It's a bit different. Haru wants to change her own father's heart, and her father dies. That's a big thing. But there's a part where the principal gets killed, and she overhears Sai Nijima talking about how the calling card was found for the principal. Now, to Haru, she feels like the Phantom Thieves may not have told her something, and they've targeted the principal. I thought that was going to go down the route of Haru suspects that we're not being honest with her, and she's going to be a bit guarded around us. And I was like, oh god, this is going to be really, really interesting.
Yes.
Instead, she just goes, did you kill the
Because she
principal?
doesn't know something went wrong.
Yeah.
When suddenly her dad just fucking dies.
Exactly. This is the thing everyone else does, but instead she just goes, oh, what happened? Oh, it went wrong. Oh, no, we didn't kill the principal. And that's it. It's just resolved. She just goes, okay, sound. And I thought that was really...
Yeah.
That was kind of
missed.
a part... missed opportunity, because, again, they're quite late in the game for it, but I thought it was going to be something where she has that hint of suspicion. I thought when I was playing, maybe even she links in with Akechi, where she he manipulates her into giving him information, and, because she's not 100% trusting, she wants to believe them, but she doesn't. So she gives him information, and that would cause some kind, that would cause the capture of you and your downfall, and then she realizes her mistake and her redemption.
You're right. It feels almost forced that she's still okay with you and the party from that point.
Yeah. It's again, just felt like a shame to me, unfortunately.
But I can also see why, just based around her social link starts with her dad being dead, and most of it's her trying to come to terms with that and dealing with what's left of the company that she now owns.
Yeah, that's another thing. She has to sort of deal with...
Sojiro, where you start his confidant, and I think you get about halfway through before the game stops letting you advance it until after the point where you know about Futaba.
Yeah.
Because the rest of his social link involves, oh yeah, I have a daughter.
Yeah, that is the one.
So I guess they could have introduced her earlier, and then at the halfway point, you'd come back and then help her deal with her dad.
Yeah.
But, man, yeah, too little, too late. You're right, missed opportunity.
It just, yeah, it felt like there was a lot to be explored there. Again, with father dying, the whole, I did the first 2 ranks of her social link thing. Like, I got, like, second rank at most for Haru, so I didn't really get into a story, but the whole, she's having to deal with the solicitors and the lawyers and all that to take over the company, and she's ill-prepared for it.
Jackass fiance that didn't go away.
Yeah. A lot there that they could have done. That's the only character really out of all of them, particularly the cast members, that I feel was a bit wasted, but it's purely due to the fact that she's introduced so late into the story, I think. But moving on from her is Yusuke.
Yes. Yeah!
Yusuke! I loved Yusuke.
Yes. I think he became one of my favorite characters.
He starts as a weirdo, but by God does he grow on me, because he's such a weirdo.
Yeah. Like, I didn't get the weirdo part, because I hated him until after his dungeon was done.
Yeah.
And I kind of forgot that I hated him until I went through New Game Plus, and just, he comes off as a really, obsessive, creepy weirdo who's way too cool with defending his asshole, dad, basically.
Yeah.
But the moment he comes in with all of his stuff packed up and a box of chocolates that he spent all his money on, going, and I live with you now. You realize the extent of his weirdness.
Yeah.
From that point on is great.
It's one of them. At first, I thought, he's a bit creepy. I'm not a massive fan of this guy. I know it's just that he lacks social etiquette, but yeah, he's a bit weird. He's really obsessed with drawing Anne naked, but then that leads to that really funny cutscene where she goes in with the hundreds of layers of clothes. It was so dumb, but I loved it. His back and forth with Futaba's really, that's fun. I like that
I think one of my favorite phone conversations in the game is when everyone is trying to investigate Medjed, and he came up with, the Wikipedia article for the actual mythological figure, and just starts listing all the information on it, and goes, okay, should I continue? And Makoto goes, that was very helpful, please stop. You're a precious boy. You're not helping, though.
Oh,
thank you for your contribution.
Yeah, I loved Yusuke, because he was a bit different to any sort of character they've had before, where he was just sort of the oblivious weirdo, because obviously he'd lived such a sheltered life that he was, it's just so funny. Like, when he's at the planetarium, you go with Mishima, and they're talking about this weirdo, and it's just Yusuke.
Did you, because you maxed him out, right?
I got to level 9 with Yusuke.
Okay, so you got to the cutscene in the church where he's like, hey, can you do this action pose so I can better understand Jesus?
I was just going to bring that up. That's one of my absolute favorites is where he wants to draw you pretending to be crucified. And
No. More dynamic crucifixion.
And then the priest has to come and, sort of try and ask what the fuck you're doing.
But kudos to the priest for being understanding about it.
He was cool.
All things considered.
Yeah. I'm not sure how that would go if you started mimicking crucifixion inside a church. But yeah, Yusuke he went from creepy to I loved how weird he was and sort of how strange. I loved also that he was a massive moocher and he just had no money ever.
Just nothing.
Yeah, you're paying, right?
Hey, good news, guys. I spent all of my money on these lobsters. Just well done, I think.
Yusuke was brilliant. Yeah, I really enjoyed Yusuke. Sojiro.
I love my coffee dad.
I really enjoyed Sojiro.
And especially his development from where he starts to where he ends up is one of the most interesting aspects. Like, I love Persona 3 because you go home and you're in the dorms.
Yeah.
And you get to see all your party members. I want to see more of 5's team just hanging out and interacting.
Yeah.
But, Dojima's, they're fine. Sojiro's great.
Yeah.
Just the scene with him figuring out your Phantom Thieves and being concerned and, oh, God. It's so good.
Yeah. When he finds the calling card and Makoto's defending you and... he's just really good. And like you say, his development... There's real progress over time. It's satisfying to see. And when you end the game, you're happy and you're like, oh yeah, he's going to be fine with Futaba. That's going to be great. They're going to live life. And obviously his backstory is interesting, how he was a former government scientist about cognition and why he took Futaba in. Like, you see a bit of his pain. It's really good. And Takamaki, in the words of the English dub.
I think because there's obvious parallels with different character types from one game to the next.
Yeah.
Like, Yosuke in 4, they even said in the art book, was just designed to be Junpei again, but I think he was less interesting. Where Ryuji is a better Yosuke.
Yeah.
I think Ann is the best version of Yukari/Chie as your starting girl.
Yeah.
Because that's not her personality type, and she's got so much more going on.
Yeah. With I maxed out on Social Link, and I found it interesting. As again, in my head, she was the canon choice. I guess it was just because she was first, but I really liked her character. A couple of things I'd say, because I really liked the sort of, she's supposed to be this, fashion model and beautiful girl. Like, she's a beautiful girl, but she's not popular. And the reason she's not popular is because of these rumors that people have spread about her. Well, Kamoshida's spread. So one of the teachers is fucking her over. Figuratively, not literally.
He wants to, though.
He wants to.
Not for lack of trying.
So he's like screwing her over, and people are responding to those rumors. So she's not popular. So she's having to battle this kind of malicious rumors and sort of this predatory, like this dude who's a fucking teacher, a figure of authority, his advances, and how that affects her best friend. That part I really, really loved. I was like, that's such an interesting character. I didn't think for a second that's where she was going to be taken. I thought, just from the visuals, she'd be a bit of an airhead, like sort of carefree.
Yeah.
I thought she was just going to be Chie, like, oh, I'm the best friend who attacks Ryuji all the time, and, rags on Ryuji. But she had such this interesting backstory. But then when you do her Social Link, it's all about her fashion model-y stuff, which again was quite interesting. But they kind of felt like two different characters. Sort of, there was these two different things that never quite met in the middle and made one personality, if that makes sense.
You're right. Both her and Ryuji have such an interesting backstory that kind of gets left behind. Ryuji a little less so because, his Social Link is all about the track club.
Yeah.
But hers, especially her, like, friendship with Shiho and having to deal with Kamoshida because of that, it's kind of implied, hey, my friend got raped because I didn't give in to this teacher.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, Persona 5, that's dark.
That was something that I was like not expecting, but that's what made I gravitated towards Anne because of that, because it was such a fucking interesting, like, really interesting storyline that I was like, holy
She has
shit.
got so much weight to her story, and the fact that she still is that, you know, happy-go-lucky kind of personality, and just despite the shit that went down, she's still the plucky girl type character role.
That's
God
the
damn.
best you could you could call it, as that plucky sort of, you know, plucky upbeat girl who's there to cheer on the team. That was the only complaint. Like I say, I fucking love that bit, the Kamoshida bit. I absolutely loved that sort of. There's so many layers to a character. Then when you go on to the social link, she still references Shiho and working hard in the fashion industry to become, you know, good and working hard, just like Shiho is in her recovery. But they never quite, for me, they just never quite met in the middle. And it's sort of like, as you said, it kind of goes on the back burner afterwards, which was a bit of a shame.
Her social link is kind of a weird mess.
Yeah.
Because you go from that
Agreed.
one scene of, hey, insult me so I can have a stronger heart. You know, I feel inspired by cartoon supervillainesses, and I want to be just like them. And then at another point in the story, you can say, hey, whatever happened to that dream of becoming an actress?
And
she goes, oh, yeah, that's what I'm going to be a model now.
I'm still going to model.
And I can't believe this other model is sabotaging people. And I'm like, no, talk about your friend. I don't care about modeling. It's kind of weird and forced.
That model part sort of felt like almost another social link, like as if that was an NPC, like as one character that they've just sort of mashed into hers.
Because she got a character portrait for no screen time.
Yeah. It was strange. It was really weird.
You were absolutely right. I never even thought about that.
It was weird. It was like as if that was supposed to be a social link, but then they just went, fuck it, we'll give that to Anne. But yeah, I really liked Anne's character. She is definitely one of my favorite female characters of the series.
For sure.
Her and Mitsuru, right up there. You know, I love the design. And like I say, the way she was introduced, it's just such a breath of fresh air. Like, to give these dark and gritty, like, backstory kind of things, and the anger she had at Kamoshida, wanting to kick
totally
the
justified
shit out of him. Which we'll get into Kamoshida. I guess we'll talk to the villains. I know I said we weren't going to go through the social links, and yet I'm doing it.
Well, I want to talk about Ryuji, too.
He's next. Ryuji's next.
Okay.
Let's go to Ryuji.
Talk about weird gap between the backstory and how it's treated, where they constantly talk about all the shit that happened to Anne through Shiho.
Yeah.
But, like, Kamoshida broke his fucking leg. That was a teacher. And just that threat that he'd do it again when you're caught in his office, and he goes, oh, do I need to, punish you again?
Yeah.
And just, you can see, I think in cutscenes, I'm not so much in his normal walk animation, but he has a limp.
See, I never noticed that.
Yeah, it's subtle, but him and just everything about Ryuji as better Yusuke and having a lot of similarities to Junpei's backstory.
Yeah.
Of my dad's an alcoholic who left me, and I'm trying to help out my mom by getting a track scholarship. And
he was
my new coach broke my leg because he was abusive, and I was the only one to call him out on his shit, and I somehow got expelled from my friend group and, any good social standing because of it.
Yeah. Oh, God, that first bit was so good.
And I don't know if it was like fan fiction or implied loosely that he dyed his hair blonde to make An feel more welcome in the school.
Oh, I've never heard that. That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Anne's a
I don't know
American.
if that's canon or not. I definitely remember it being written as like a fan thing, but just, hey, don't feel bad and ashamed because you're different. Look, I'm blonde now too.
That's real. I kind of want that to be. In my brain, that's canon, because that's lovely. Oh,
yeah.
Little Ryusuke. Bless his heart.
And Ryuji's, he's the same pretty much throughout
Ryuji.
He's, kind of static throughout the story in terms of personality.
Yeah.
But I will say, despite him being loud about being Phantom Thieves and pretty much giving it away for everyone, there's that one scene, I think right before Nijima's dungeon, where you're going to get caught, it's only a matter of time, and everyone feels helpless.
Yeah.
His, despair got to me. Everyone just, absolutely helpless against what's going to happen.
Yeah.
That was, I think, hit me harder than a lot of the big spots in 3 that still affect me. But, man, just what a good goddamn video game.
Yeah. Ryuji, again, better than Yusuke. Better than, sorry.
Yosuke.
Not Yusuke.
Oh, yeah, Yusuke and Yosuke. That's not at all a pain in the fucking ass.
Better than Yosuke. Again, nothing wrong. Yosuke was whatever. He was a nice best friend, sidekick. Ryuji was that and more. He was a foil, the comic relief. He fulfilled all that, but because he was, I think the best friend, particularly in Persona games, because the protagonist is by and large a silent protagonist, they provide that. They provide the emotion where your protagonist can't really in cutscenes and in the dialogue.
Yeah.
And Ryuji fucking carries that because he wears his heart on his sleeve. So just the damn it, and just the frustration and stuff at things.
And another personality quirk that someone had to point out to me that makes me love him even more is he only ever swears through text. Because every other time it's freaking, or I think he says damn it a lot, but he doesn't drop the F-bomb except on the phone because he still loves his mama.
Yeah, he does. He swears on the phone, but he says shit a lot. But he doesn't say the F-bomb. Yeah, no, because he says freaking a lot.
Mm-hmm. I just thought that was precious.
I liked Ryuji a lot. I liked his backstory. Because normally they're sort of limited, the kind of punk who, they're a punk who's a bit dumb, but, they mean well. That's a common trope, but it's, I don't know, just Ryuji was so much more than that. He had, he was funny, he was likable, the emotion that he had, the connection to Kamoshida, was just, it was so brilliant. Just when they're squaring off in the office, like you say, and he's just not backing down, it's I really want to talk about Kamoshida. Okay, moving on. We'll skip Akechi.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. We'll skip Akechi because obviously he's a bad guy. Spoilers. We'll go to Futaba. So Futaba's character arc. What did you think about Futaba?
I think we said it, or I said it once already, she is cringy on purpose.
Yeah.
And it works really well. And I made the joke that I'm not sure is 100% appropriate, but her palace is making her guilt go away. That's phenomenal. But the week afterwards of now we have to cure her autism, I love her character. I don't think she's supposed to be romanced. She is your designated sister.
No.
When you get to the end of Sojiro's S-Link, and his link is going to her mother's grave as a family of me, my daughter, and my son, and you can go, yes, Dad.
Yeah.
And he's really happy, and his final request is, hey, don't get with Futaba,
I really like that part of it where he said that. And
I respect Coffee Dad too much to start that relationship.
I'm sorry, my father. I won't bang my... I get why it's there. Japanese anime likes that incest. And I know it's not incest.
Yeah.
I know it's not because obviously not blood related, but Yeah, she's too much the little sister that you are caring for and rehabilitating. I like that aspect. I like that she was, you know...
you cure the more extreme aspects of her guilt, but I think her whole link of going through and kind of getting her reused to society and socializing with people, I felt really skeevy, like, trying to take advantage of that as a romance option.
Yeah.
Because you are a crutch for her, and that's kind of a codependent relationship that you would be starting.
Yeah, I wouldn't... That's the thing. I always tried to keep that, like, any of the romance options for that I never went down, because I'd feel... I mean, I get why it's there. It's nice to have the choice, but I liked her as the sister character who you're helping, and you're helping along, and because she leans on you a lot more than Ryuji or Anne or Makoto. Yeah. They are still independent individuals, but she relies on you, and that's the kind of the whole point is where she says she, like, her final thing on the list is not having to depend on you. And then she flat out tells you that she doesn't want that. Like, she never wants to have to be, like, come to the day where she can't depend on you.
And that's why I kind of always thought that Anne and Makoto, because their social links are kind of, they're not relying on you for any kind of emotional support as much, are the two right choices for romance, because everything else is a little bit...
Yeah, I get what
that goes
mean.
Especially hard for the teacher.
Teacher and fortune teller? Yeah, no, I can definitely see it. Doctor to the extent as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all sort of depend on you. Yeah.
Haru of, hey, sorry your dad died. Wanna fuck?
Hey, Haru, I got some cucumbers you can grow. I'll put them in your vegetable patch, baby.
It is sad, like... There's a lot of characters where turning them down is just kind of a, oh, okay, that's sad, but we're still friends.
Yeah.
Haru, I'm pretty sure she starts crying when you say no. Yeah, that one's hard to turn down.
Because most of them, like Chihaya, the fortune teller, she goes, are you into all the girls? You go, no. She goes, oh, okay, never mind. And then she kind of just moves on after blushing.
Yeah, I think... And quick rundown of the other waifus. Chei Takemi, Dr. Punk, is, I think, one of my favorite designs. I think her shop is great. Not specifically meant for romance, even though I think she's one of the more attractive designs.
Yeah.
But her as a romance option feels like a kind of tacked on thing. It's just, oh, by the way, she's a girl.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. With in terms of the romance, I never thought she was, like, supposed to be. It's only, as you say, because she's a female, you can romance her. That's the same feeling with the fortune teller. I really feel that's just a tacked-on thing.
Same with the reporter.
Yeah. Oh, God. Of course.
You can date her.
Of course you can. She's a female. And I read that you could date Sainijima as well, apparently, in the original. And then they nixed it.
I'm waiting. That's one of the things I kind of expect to be in, Persona 5 Special Edition.
Yeah, originally, apparently, she was supposed to be, but then they cut that.
Someone found dialogue that includes, like, hey, can you stay here longer? And I love you.
Ah, okay.
So it's voiced. It's there.
Fair enough. So it got cut last second then. But yeah, Futaba, I enjoyed. Chihaya, we went through. She's a fortune teller. It was a nice little one. It was a nice little aside. Didn't really go down the romance route. It was cool.
Kawakami has the funniest bit in the game of, wait for your sexy maid. Oh shit, it's your teacher.
I loved Kawakami.
Her link, you can be such a huge dick to her. It's funny. Yeah. And then you go through it. She's another one of those really dark turns.
Yeah.
Of, like, resorting to prostitution to pay off some parents of a dead child that have been extorting you.
Yeah. Yeah. Shit. like she's literally about to go into prostitution. She's already a maid, which is sort of it's getting there a bit. Obviously, it's not the desired job. As well as a teacher, she's lost all her passion for teaching, which is what she wanted to do. And then fuck me, I forgot about that. It's a dark one, but Kawakami,
as an isolated story, I think she's one of the strongest ones.
Definitely, she stood out.
I understand the appeal of you could date your teacher. Like, there's a part of me that really understands that, but dude, you're dating your teacher. Don't do that to her.
Yeah. I didn't want to go down the romance option with her, because I liked that I helped her and she regained her student, and she was like rooting you on as a teacher, as opposed to a romance thing. Maybe that's just me. But yeah, Kawakami really stood out to me. The Doctor was cool. I liked her storyline as well. Again, never saw her as a romance option. Iwai, the gun shop, the airsoft gun owner, I never did his storyline, so I don't really know what his was about.
He is former Yakuza.
Oh, really?
Who he got out, and at one point, you find out he has an adopted son from a woman who tried to sell her child for money.
Oh, fuck.
Because she had no cash and got screwed over by the Yakuza, I think. So he takes the kid and leaves the life of crime, but there are things pulling him back in. And his plot line is basically trying to stop people who are also Yakuza from extorting him, because he's trying to prevent his kid from knowing his former, life of crime, or that he's even adopted.
Holy crap.
Yeah, that's good story.
Good story.
You'd never learn it on your first fucking playthrough.
Holy shit, I need to go and read up on this dude, because that's a really cool story. And again, unfortunately, you need so high a level of guts that you don't get till late on in the game. You won't know it for the longest time. Ichiko Oya, she's a reporter who helps you. She's the Devil Arcana. Nah.
She's there.
She's the least interesting to me. And I think that's the sentiment echoed around most people. And
it doesn't help that, her perk is reducing the alertness level in dungeons, which if you're playing worth a shit, shouldn't ever really go up in the first place.
Yeah, it's if your alert is getting up like in past 20 or 30%, then you're doing it wrong, basically. Shinya Oda, who was the arcade player who had the Get Smoked hat, who everyone can see everywhere, never did theirs, never initiated their arc, so I don't really know about their story.
He's, I think, again, his kind of neglected by his parents, so he spends a lot of time in the arcade, but yeah, he was one of the weaker ones.
Yeah.
Although I would love to have more bullets and dungeons.
Same.
I just can't really.
Hifumi, who was the famous shogi player who chilled in the church. He was a classmate of Yusuke's.
I really liked her. I liked the ability to switch out party members in battle even more.
Yeah.
What a great character.
I liked her trope. The mother living vicariously through her and pushing her. I enjoyed that. I really liked her design as well. She was quite a different design to the rest of the female cast. The sort of like, I could have envisioned Makoto having a similar design to her, but obviously you need to make them stand out as model students, each of them respectively. But yeah, I liked her, I liked her voice acting, I liked her design, I liked her story pretty much. And of course, her perk was awesome of being able to switch out characters Final Fantasy style, so that was always good.
Yes.
Then you had Yoshida, the washed up politician who was standing on a street corner shouting at people.
I didn't expect to like him nearly as much as I ended up doing, and for some reason, I think just based on timing, his was the first one I maxed out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, great guy. Just I kind of got screwed over, but I also made some honest mistakes, and I'm going to make up for it.
Yeah. I
really ended up liking him.
I was kind of hoping at the very end of the game there'd be a sort of flash forward and seeing him running for office, like after Shido.
Mm-hmm.
I thought maybe they'd do something like that. They didn't, but whatever. Yuki Mishima, who was a classmate of yours. He's meek and mild. He runs the fan site.
I kind of hate him, but I like his arc.
I'm the same. They needed that spineless character who was obviously getting abused and he wouldn't say anything. I liked that was it, but I really thought he was gonna come out of it. And then I did I loved this character arc, how he became sort of arrogant.
He got a bit of power and it went to his head.
Yeah.
And it's something you should hate him for. Him as a character, I hate. Him as an arc and a story, really good.
Yeah. I enjoyed his stuff. Like I say, with he got overconfident and arrogant from the perceived power that he had and wielded.
Yeah.
And then even to the point where he became paranoid that you were going to change his heart. And that,
but then he does it on his own. You didn't have to. That was great.
I really like that part. And you have to tell him, and then that sort of gives him the confidence to be his own person and be brave. I really enjoyed that story arc, but yeah, he's a piece of shit.
I really enjoyed having the full party experience when they're not in a fight. So, even if you don't like him, do him anyways.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Even if you hate him, even if you hate the story, that's what you have to max out.
Him and Hifumi are the two, you need these people. They may not be able to smack you out of, a status ailment, but you can't afford to not have them.
I would add Kawakami. Any playthrough, Kawakami, Hifumi, and Mishima, because those make the game so much more manageable.
And the one SP healing patch that gives a little bit of magic each turn
from Takemi
that you get from Takemi, that's another one of those. Now you don't have to worry about. It's the do a dungeon in one day item.
Every single one of my 4 members, I had 4 of those SP Adisas, and they were lifesavers. Fuck, they were so good. Sai Nijima is the last one for Judgment, and then we'll go into the twins and the villains. Sai Nijima, what did you think?
I like that you didn't get hers started until halfway through the story when you can see her starting to believe you.
I really like that as well. I also loved this quick sort of change from justice to judgment. I thought that was really good. She starts to believe what you're saying and seeing through the bullshit.
Yeah, her on the short list of adults in power who aren't shit. Really interesting.
Yeah.
I think they did a great job with her. I would like to see more, I guess.
That was gonna...
I do agree with you of sometimes when you go to the flash forward after starting a new social link, it's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah. You must have had someone who was good at speaking to be able to help you write these cards, right? Oh, yeah, no, that was the politician. Yeah, fucking...
You must have had some keen foresight. You must have been going to a fortune-telling lady in a back alley.
I know you were telling me about how you invaded a giant pyramid and stole a Shutton's heart, but please tell me about this fortune teller who came from the backwoods. Yeah, it was a weird one, but I agree. I really liked her character. I liked how driven she was and the reasons behind it, but I didn't feel like they explored. I don't know. I'll preface this with because I didn't max out Makoto. I don't know if they go through her father's death a bit more.
They do a bit, but not so much.
Okay.
I like her palace being based around how she's basically still a good person, but she's gone from a thirst for justice to I need to win.
Yeah.
And that's why it's a rigged casino. I thought that was one of the best uses of, dungeon as a metaphor in the game.
It was hands down, I think, out of all of them. I mean, obviously, some are on the nose, like, Kamoshida is the king of its castle. It's a castle, obviously. And the bank for Kaneshiro.
I need money. I view people as ATMs.
Yeah, I like that one. But the casino is probably the best one in terms of she need to win, and this, she has to prove herself, all the decks stacked against her. She's sort of warped. That was the truest sense of, she was a good person, but her desire is slightly warped through all stress and turmoil, so she's become, like, now she's got a palace. Like, I like that. That was the best example of what palaces were.
Because I think Haru and Shido both have some, not exactly on the nose versions of how they see themselves, but just that twist revelation kind of thing, I think is very good.
Yeah. The only thing that I kind of asked for a bit more with Nijima and Makoto was sort of, I wanted a scene where Makoto stood up to sign Nijima and just sort of said, shut the fuck up, a bit more in the palace. And it never really came. Because I thought that's what they were building for until she finally just stood up to her in the casino and said, shut the fuck up. This is what we're doing. Bitch, listen to me. But it never quite happened. That's just a personal, storytelling preference, I guess, that I wanted that payoff, and they did it a bit more subtly in that. And I also kind of wanted a bit more of an exploration into their father's murder. But again, I've not done Makoto's, so I wouldn't quite know.
Was investigating a string of, I think it's prostitution stuff.
Ah, right, okay.
And he got too close to Yakuza, and they offed him.
Ah.
So I think Nijima's kind of similar to Dojima, of they have that other thing in the background that they want to solve and just get distracted by it.
Yeah.
Or distracted from it.
I'm kind of glad that they didn't tie that back into Shido.
Yeah.
A little too much got tied into him, but
yeah.
Before we go on to the villains, the twins. How did you find the twins?
I didn't like them until the twist. I'll be honest.
Well, I messaged you. We had a bit of a back and forth as we were playing it, and I was really annoyed because I completed and maxed out the Strength Arcana and did their social link, and I was like,
you could have sworn it was building up to them being the same person that was split apart, and I just had to sit there going, I was finish the game.
I was like, there's got to be some. I was like, they're building up of how they shared memories and how this felt familiar and so on and so forth, and how I finished your sentence, and it was the eye patches. One has one on the left, one has on the right. I was like, they've got to be fragments of the same person. There's going to be. I was like, maybe
you called it.
I was like, maybe they're going to find separate parts of themselves, and they're going to all combine into one, or there's something, and then you max the social link, and there's nothing. It's just, this list we kind of recognize but don't sound. Oh, and I was
the payoff
really?
To that is more foreshadowing to the ending, which I think is kind of weird.
Which now makes sense. Now I haven't played it. When it happened, I was playing, and I was like, oh shit.
That's it?
Oh shit. Oh it all makes sense. But
I will say, in New Game Plus, they are the bonus boss.
What?
And it's really good, because again, River's in the desert and is playing in the background.
Okay.
And you kind of have to be level 99, but you can fight them right from the very start. And just appreciate how fucking strong of a bonus boss they are. They're still the easiest version of the Elizabeth and Margaret fights.
Yeah.
But you have to beat them both in the same turn, because if you beat one before the other and too long, they'll revive their twin with full health, I think.
Fair enough.
So it's that challenge, but They also have their own, if they wipe out your party in one hit, they have their own all-out attack finishing animation.
Oh, that's really cool.
And it has its own, like, cutaway, but instead of the experience screen, it's game over.
I like that. I definitely will have to check that out when I do a New Game Plus. But yeah, I just felt like there was something missing, and then obviously it's tied to the story, which I couldn't have guessed, but I was annoyed. I was like, well, fuck, it just has no bearing on anything. This is a bit disappointing, because they sort of like, I'm starting to remember. Nope.
Yeah.
When you maxed it, and it's like, oh, that's it. Oh, okay. Sure.
That's about what I had, yeah.
And then, yeah, it fucking happens. And I was like, oh my god, shit's going down. Which, by the way,
I was right!
Igor, fucking...
Yes.
Igor
wasn't Igor.
Yeah. What a clever thing. Because when we first got it, you told me about the Japanese voice actor that died. And I was like, okay, fair enough. They've changed it. That's whatever. You know, they must have just changed it for the English one. That's okay. It's such a clever twist. That's a brilliant, brilliant twist. So for those who didn't know, the Japanese voice actor died, so they changed the voice actor. So everyone in a real world playing the game would just assume it's a change of voice actor due to external circumstances. However, it's tied to the fucking plot.
Yes.
How genius is that?
I think that is one of the best, like, meta covers for that, which I think very few people in America would even recognize.
Yeah.
But when I had heard what happened earlier and said, okay, how are they going to do Igor different? Oh, they made him Barry White.
It's just such a clever... They use, the problem, and they turn it into a clever plot twist that no one really could have seen coming, but you just sort of go, I knew it. There was clues all along, but you just didn't see them. Such a good reference.
Good for you, Atlas. Keep fucking with me.
Yeah.
I like it.
I really love that. Let's get on to the villains. I guess I'll start with Kamoshida. Kamoshida, for me, was probably my favorite villain of the entire game, because...
Yes. You're right. They built him up as such a guy to hate.
Yeah, and it wasn't like he wasn't like, I killed your father, or, that kind of stereotypical kind of villain shit. He was just a bad dude. Like, he was a teacher. He was just a dick. Like, he did subtle things, but obviously, like, just the sort of pressuring Anne for sex, as well as Shiho, physical abuse of students, but getting away with it because of his accolades. Even the cutscene of the volleyball match where he hit the student too hard and sort of laughed it off. Oh man, there was something, like, I could not wait to... I've not really felt that I can't remember the last time I ever felt that in a game where I was genuinely angry, like felt genuine anger for a character and could not wait to kick their ass. And that I'll remember that, like, in years to come from Persona 5. I remember that first time I ever played it and played through the first arc of Kamoshida, that first month or two. It was really special. Like, I know that sounds stupid, but I'll never forget that feeling of just, it's okay, because we're going to make sure he gets his comeuppance, and that... It was almost a shame, because the bar was set that high. They never really...
I know what you mean.
Next time. It's so good. Like, just everything about him, his mannerisms, the sneer that he does, the comments, as you said earlier about Ryuji. When you're in the office, he talks about how he's going to get you, you have a criminal record, you're fucked. And then he alludes to, like, it's a threat where he says, I don't need to break the other leg, do I? Oh, just assholishness.
What a good, start to that game.
Yeah, just perfect. And the themes, as I say, that's a teacher trying to pressure a 16-year-old. So, like, I don't know about the laws of consent in Japan, but that's pretty young for someone. I'm pretty certain that's illegal here in the UK. Anyone who's in a position of authority or, like, a teacher or something, like guardian or whatever, that's illegal. So,
Yeah.
that's, just him being a dick, and then obviously that causes Shiho to attempt to commit suicide. Oh, there's some dark, abuse in his team. These are really deep themes that I wasn't expecting, and just, what an introduction to the game. Fantastic.
Certainly not right as the tutorial.
No. And then it's,
Man.
it's sort of juxtaposed to him being in a fantasy castle and him running around with a goofy crown and cape on with his little love heart boxes. That sort of light and comical kind of thing. It's really strange just how it's like, but it works so well together.
And that creepy room inside of his castle with all the Shiho stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And the, like, manacles that are inside. Just, God, what a good, effective use of hating a villain.
Just, the attention to detail. Just that, obviously, you have to make the connection with that, like, in his subconsciousness, and, fuck. God, they did such a good job with Kamoshida.
Which, compared to Dungeon Number 2,
Madarame,
I didn't even really dislike this guy until the very end.
agreed. I was going to say,
Like, yeah, you're kind of breaking into his house an awful lot.
because you hear the allegations, but there's never any concrete proof until you sort of go to the palace and you're like, right, well, it must be true because there's a palace right here.
Yeah. And Yusuke is on his side up until really even the very end.
Yeah, definitely.
And until you learn that, no, he kind of didn't kill Yusuke's mom, but just
he indirectly
neglected to treat her. Yeah.
Yeah, because she was having a seizure and he indirectly, he didn't do anything.
I can take your painting.
Yeah.
And then cover up the baby in the painting to make it more mysterious.
That's when he went full dickhead mode. That's when you finally felt he'd gone all the way. And you're like, this guy needs his ass kicking. We need to change the heart. But I agree with you because he starts off as a sort of kind old man. You know there's a little bit of something there, but you're kind of, as you say, you break into his house and you're deceiving Yusuke, who is this socially estranged guy who you're taking advantage of. Yeah, you don't feel the same as you do with Kamoshida.
Yeah.
But until the end, like I say, once you hear about his mother, he stole the Sayuri, he's sending copies, and he's quite hateful.
Because I think up until that point, his most evil deed is that he had faked losing the Sayuri and was selling copies of it to other people on the sly, saying, no, this is the real one.
Yeah.
I think that was, I had to admit, that was kind of clever.
Because his they're loosely based off sins, aren't they? The palaces that they had.
Yeah.
Which was strange because...
Not all of them 100% obvious. I'm going to be honest.
Because the castle was lust, obviously. He was lusting after, Anne and Shiho, and, he had the love arts on his boxers and all that kind of stuff, and the theming in that. He was in love with himself, I guess. Mm-hmm. So that one was kind of obvious. Shido's is pride, obviously. It's got to be. The last one's always got to be pride.
I like the bank is greed, but after that it's a little bit.
This is the thing. I thought the bank was greed, but if you go according to
the trophies say it, don't they?
Yeah, according to the trophies, the first one's lust, which is obvious. The second one is greed, which is Madarame. Which
wouldn't that be envy because he's jealous of his students or something?
Yeah,
like I
say it.
if you said it was, like, I'd agree with pretty much whatever, because they can all kind of be interpreted.
Yeah,
a lot of them.
We say they're loosely, like they are very loosely based on them. But yeah, you've got Kamoshida's lust. They say Madorame's greed, which I can kind of see because he's selling. He's not an artist for being an artist. He's an artist to gain profit. Kanashiro's gluttony, which again I can sort of see because he just desires more money. He doesn't desire like.
And he's also, I think, aside from the principal, the fattest character in the game.
That's true. Yeah, he's a big dude, and he's got the pig and everything. His little robot pig. 4 is apparently Wrath, which is Futaba's palace. It's the Pyramid of Wrath, which I guess that's Rage at herself? Like,
I guess. Or maybe her perceived anger that she thought her mom had?
That's, I guess. And then the 5th one, I can't remember.
I think that's Okumura.
Yeah, Okumura, but I can't remember what he was.
Yeah, like, again, they really have to twist a lot of them. And, like, the last attack in the game is Sinful Shell, that has all the 7 sins twisted into one convenient bullet. But,
yeah. I think
there's a lot there that's...
And then they say the casino is envy, which I don't really... I kind of get, but don't get. Like, you could, like, say it's very loose, I guess. You can sort of apply it if you twist the narrative enough to... If you shove it in there, it'll fit in that box, but yeah.
You really gotta twist a bit.
We mentioned Kaneshiro. Kaneshiro as a villain. Yay or nay?
I think he is a bad character, but it's a good intro for Makoto.
Yeah. I can't even add anything more to it. I was going to say, I liked Kaneshiro because I liked the interaction with Makoto, how she finally had enough and stood up to the mafia. I think that's like the kind of group that she would, because she's in over her head. It's fucking organized crime.
She wants to protect her fellow students because that's her job, but that's the point where by following the rules, she cannot achieve her goals of, justice and righteousness. And that conversation with her sister about, hey, do you think Dad would like what the Phantom Thieves are doing? And Nijima's just, no. And now I'm not eating dinner with you either.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Bitch.
I also don't like Kaneshiro because his name is too similar to Kamoshida.
Yeah.
Which, maybe that's a strictly American thing. But,
no, I did notice that. I noticed Kamoshida and Kaneshino. I mean, Madarame, I guess it's because Madarame had direct... Like, Kamoshida was great. Then you went to Madarame, who still has direct links with Yusuke, and your characters had multiple interactions with him. And then you
I guess Kaneshiro, they also talked in the plot about him being an opportunity for the Phantom Thieves to show off of this person is not directly linked to, like, the school. We need to prove that we're not bad people taking down randos.
Yeah.
We need to get someone the police can't.
Yeah, I guess that plays into it as well. Like, from a story perspective, like, it makes perfect sense. Kaneshiro...
is a means to an end.
Yeah. It served the story more than, like, the character itself. It was just sort of, yeah, he's a mafia boss. He's a dick. That's fine.
I did like that part where, hey, how much did that crocodile bag cost? Go buy it. You fuckers made me spend money, which I don't like to do. He's got some good bits, but yeah, just not terribly interesting.
Yeah, he wasn't
overall.
Like I say, he wasn't a bad character. It's just like I say, he wasn't. I mean, not everyone's going to be a stellar character or anything, but yeah, he was just sort of. He's a mafia boss. You don't want to fuck with this kind of crowd. And then they managed to get ahead of him. Then there was Okumura. Okumura Foods, businessman who's obviously exploits his employees, as well as his, his agreement and arrangement with Shido and Akechi to further his own agenda. And then
not to mention marrying off his daughter.
Yeah, kind of an asshole was Okumura. He was effective in that role as just being a dick. He's a rich, powerful businessman, the kind that you would expect the Phantom Thieves to target. Haru, being his daughter, was a good link into it again. His dungeon was not great, so, we'll
not really.
Go. Well, have we already talked about the dungeons? Can't even remember if we have.
Kinda. I think we mentioned how this one was our least favorite.
We never talked about the gameplay. That's next, isn't it? Oh no, story. Good God, this is going to go a lot longer than I anticipated.
No, dungeons, characters through dungeons is the story. Can I put it that way?
Yeah. That's very true. We had, I liked Okumura. Serviceable enough. Like I say, he's that sort of, the link between Shido. That's when you start to know, fuck, the main bad guy's high up the food chain. Or at least from the Phantom Thieves' perspective, they start to learn that. And learn just how deeply connected it is. It brings Haru into the fold. When he dies, it's quite of a shock. I wasn't expecting... Well, it's coming because of the flash forward, but,
Yeah. I will say, I think the flash forward ruins a lot of important bits.
Yes.
That would have worked just fine without them.
I'm not sure why they did the flash forwards, because it's not like they're worried about hooking people in. People know what they're coming into. I'm fine with the flash forward at the beginning.
Okay, I have a bit of a theory, and feel free to disagree.
Okay.
But Persona 4 turned off a lot of people by having like a 4-hour-long cutscene before you even get to a dungeon. And I think starting off by showing here's who you are, here's who you will eventually be, needed to happen just to get people interested.
I'll amend it. As I was saying, the beginning flash forward, don't have a problem with. A cold
Every
open.
subsequent one. Yeah.
I don't mind when stories flash forward because it gives you that hook of you've been sold out. So then, because when I first started the game, I was looking at, okay, which one of these fuckers has sold me out? It's only later when obviously you meet Akechi, you realize obviously it's going to be him.
I bet it's fucking Akechi.
But at the beginning,
hate that guy.
When I loaded that game up and got into the first half hour and it talks about how someone sold me out, I only know of Ryuji and, I looked, I flicked through the art book, I'm only aware of these 8 characters, who are my party, and I'm like, right, one of these fuckers has sold me out and I don't know who. So that led to some intrigue to me and made me want to, really play on. So, I don't mind the flash forward at the beginning, but yes, I totally agree with the subsequent ones, like, introducing confidants is a bit of a stretch. I don't really think you needed that. Like, you don't need the little extra
not for all
bit.
of them.
And you didn't need the, you didn't need the telling you who your next target was because the story was going to tell you. And then, the only one that I think was fine was the one where they said, oh, you targeted me next. Like, your last case was targeting me.
That was a good...
I
moment.
liked that one. But I would rather have done without all of them, rather than just having that moment.
Yeah.
Because, introducing Madarame, I like the sort of mystery element. Like, when you had Kamoshida, you didn't really know who the first palace was going to be, and then you sort of, oh shit, it's going to be Kamoshida. It was more natural that way.
And like the one with Medjed, they didn't give away who Futaba was.
Yeah, that's another one.
They just said, hey, here's a hacker group. And I go, okay, how the hell are we going to do that?
Yeah, I really liked that part, actually, because it was, this is a challenge that we haven't faced before. And that was a really cool element. They did their best to keep the story really fresh, and I appreciated that. who was after Akumura. Then you went to the casino and
Was
obviously...
it? Yeah, Nijima.
Yeah, you went to Nijima. I guess an antagonist, sort of. I suppose for the palace she was. The rigged palace was cool. I liked the function. I liked the story. We've already alluded to it. Then obviously the big betrayal happens, and we'll talk about it now, is Goro Akechi is a fucking snake. And I called that shit in the first 20 hours, because that bitch talks about pancakes.
You and I both caught the pancakes.
Do you know how proud I was? I was like, I am convinced of this. And then played on for another 50 hours, and then when I finally got to it, they overplay it so much in the story and flashback and talk about it that I was like, oh, so it wasn't a subtle hint. I guess it was really supposed to be there deliberately, and everyone must have caught onto it. I felt a bit stupid for, guys, I know it, this! Like, you know, as if I was really fucking Sherlock Holmes, and then it's like, yeah, everyone picked up on that. Oopsie.
No, you're good. You're good. I think it's a good wink and a nod for those good enough to catch on, but it's also not offensive at that point.
Yeah,
to anyone who...
Well, again, it felt subtle to me, and all I knew from that point, because for what we're saying, to eliminate any confusion if anyone's listening, and is slightly confused, there's a moment really early on when you first meet Akechi, the boy detective, the boy wonder, and he overhears Morgana. He talks about pancakes, so if you've ever seen the memes about pancakes and everything everywhere, then that's the reason why.
And for reference, people who don't have a persona and don't know about the metaverse wouldn't be able to hear this talking cat.
Exactly.
So
that's the most important part.
Leading on to the fact that he can hear what's going on is a big spoiler.
Yeah. It sets alarm bells off, and you go, well, this guy can hear Morgana. There's something more to him. It's only much later in the game that he says about how he can enter the metaverse, and he's only been able to do it for a month or so. This is months afterwards. You know
that's when the bullshit alarm goes off.
Yeah. You're like, well, this guy's not being honest with me. There's little bits in the animation as well when you have him in your party, because he joins you for the casino heist. And when you do the victory screen, he sort of moves away and cackles, sort of. He does a little laugh just as you start running. Really subtle. I never picked up on it until someone mentioned it, and I went back and looked at like a video, and he does do a little laugh just as you start running, like a sort of evil cackle, which I think is really subtle and really good. Just a nice little bit of foreshadowing. A really excellent twist, because before he's sort of the charismatic, do-gooding, best, boy detective, he's handsome, blah, 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 blah.
What if Naoto was evil?
Yeah, pretty much. He is ridiculed because he challenges Phantom Thieves and all the public love them, and they hate him, they do the flip. And he wants to shoot you in the head.
In his defense, I do like that they explored the aspect of it where when you go into someone's heart and you take away their wicked desires, you're also kind of removing an aspect of their free will.
Yeah.
And him saying, I'm not cool with it. Yeah, it's not black and white. I think Akechi initially was an interesting counterpoint to that ideal, but they also turn him into such an evil fucking asshole that it's fine.
Yeah. Well, he has to become evil supervillain afterwards, just so you can be like, yeah, he's killed a load of people, and yeah, he's psychotic, he's unhinged, he's caused all these psychotic breakdowns, because he's got daddy issues. That was one point that I wasn't too keen on it. Like, one thing, I guess, to move off was Shido was connected to everything.
Yeah.
Everything. And
yeah.
I was fine with him being the cause of you having to move. That's fine. It introduces him early on so you recognize his face and establishes that he's an asshole. Mm-hmm. And it's sort of, yeah, he's a guy who will tread on ants on his way up. You know, he doesn't care. He's probably done that kind of shit 1,000 times. Like, he's gotten people fucked over, and he doesn't care how many lives he destroys or ruins.
Mm-hmm.
But there was so many connections through, like, Kaneshiro was giving him money, and no, Madarame was giving him money, that's it. Madarame was funding him, and he killed, you know, Futaba's mother, and stole
He
research.
does become kind of, too evil. And I honestly don't know what his plans were for when he became prime minister. You know, he wanted to throw everyone under the bus because, you know, he's going to leave everyone who's not in his own party behind. But
Yeah.
they never really said how. They just said, like, public reform.
Yeah, and also the thing was, Akechi was his henchman, to go into the metaverse and kill other people. As soon as he was elected, he was planning to kill Akechi, which would then mean he would lose the power to...
Yeah, he's losing his best, like, secret weapon.
Yeah, when he would need it most, I'd assume, when he's prime minister. That's
to be fair, Akechi was going to double-cross him immediately after that.
Yeah, I guess. That's true.
So,
and he knew that.
Yeah, none of those people were good people, so I can understand why he'd kill off everyone who's not useful to him.
I guess that's true. Yeah, it was a weird one, because it was sort of, I want to be prime minister, but then there was never more, and like, he was just connected to like every bad thing that happens in the series. Like, everyone had to be related to what he was doing. Obviously, he killed he ordered the killing of Okumura. He was the one who sort of backstabbed Goro Akechi by sending his cognition in to kill him and finish him off. He had ties to the school.
I will say that there's a guy I follow on Twitter who is a Japanese translator. I think his name is Thomas James, and I really hope that's right. But he played P5 early when the Japanese version came out. And since he had spent a long time in Japan, he came out and said, look, Americans, a lot of this might go over your head. Read into these subjects. And it was stuff about the Yakuza and the corruption in there between, you know, organized crime and the government. There was the really prevalent problem of people being worked and overworked to a point of dying.
Yeah.
And just a lot of this game hit deep into Japanese societal issues, including the one-party government that is not 100% on the level. Like, I think Shinzo Abe is its current prime minister, and boy, oh boy, the fictional party system that they have in Persona 5 sounds a whole awful lot like the real one. So I don't know if this is their version of, like, if they tried to do a 4Kids dub, they would name him, like, Shido would be Ronald Grump or something. But this, oh boy.
Yeah.
This is very much for Japan.
A few
that
hot
we may
topics.
get, a bit removed from.
Yeah.
Especially the staying silent about sexual abuse kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because while that is an issue in the West, staying quiet and taking abuse for the greater good is a lot more
prevalent,
ingrained into the Japanese mindset.
Yeah. I was going to say a lot of things, the sort of values and it's like cultural issues that they touched on. Even the point of like the worker bee sort of hive mind style of the public, like the adults who just consign themselves to this and they just wish to get on with it, not cause a scene.
Yes.
Stand out, just, you know, give up all free will.
It's very topical. And I want to say, in terms of like tone, because the Shin Megami Tensei series, you don't have good and evil as much as you have law and chaos options.
Yeah.
And also neutral. So like if P3 was a neutral route and Persona 4 was all about law, this feels like the chaos option of trying to make the world better by breaking down what's been built up. And it's, I don't know, I think it's just a great great game.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, and it does serve as quite like a social commentary, because some things you do see and you're like, "Ugh, that's and quite close to home. Those ones. About, not trusting governments and so on and so forth. You're moving on to, Shido. I liked Shido's voice actor. He was quite a despicable villain. He was serviceable in the role. Again, the only complaint really is just that I felt like he was almost too connected. Like, you don't have to have your final villain be the cause of everything and retroactive. Yeah. Well, like, if they are, whatever, but like, retroactively applying it, like going, oh, by the way, Madarame financed him as well. And, sure, everyone did. I liked how he systematically double-crossed people, like the principal was, I don't know why he had ties to a school.
Yeah, you're right. There's random. A lot of stuff where it didn't need to go that hard into telling you how evil Shido was.
Yeah, he controls his principal. Like,
Like, one of my favorite parts about Shido, and leading up to the final dungeon, was how you steal his heart and he has his breakdown, but it doesn't really change anything.
Yeah.
And you realize that he is one evil shit stain, asshole, bad man. But he's just one faction of a bigger government that's all out to get you. And they go, oh no, Shido's gone. Alright, who's next on the list? We're still fucking evil. We've got this research. We can do it. Bump in the road, fellas.
I loved how they just immediately, the media perception, no, don't broadcast it, and then they went through it and sort of, there was that little crisis meeting they had about how they'd get him just declared insane, like how quickly they moved on, how brutally efficient they were, was pretty good. And you were like, oh shit, nothing we did changed anything, fuck.
We've got to get to the root of it, to the subway system.
We gotta get to mementos, which normally, Persona 3, I've not completed, but I know it works up to Nyx, who is the deaf character, who's
top of the tower, the tippity top of Tartarus.
They're sort of woven into the narrative. Persona 4, however, decides that Adachi is the
guy who's also an evil man who betrays you and has a very similar name.
God damn it. They need to differentiate these names. Adachi is, turns out to be the culprit, the murderer. You kill him, but then the final boss is suddenly, it's a god who gave you both powers. It's a shadow. Yeah. And it kind of came out of nowhere, and it felt a bit unsatisfying. Like, it wasn't that... It was just sort of, oh, and there's more. Okay. Whereas Persona 5, just due to the story and the themes, I liked Yaldabaoth. I guess it's because I really enjoyed the turn for Igor and stuff. Like, it was a fake Igor, but going to the core of Mementos and having to change the public's cognition, I really enjoyed that.
Like, going from the, oh my goodness, Akechi is actually the bad guy, like, really obvious fake-out twist, to, no, here's the twist. That was good.
That was it's so good. Yeah, because, changing the public heart, that's a natural progression. I thought that was really good. You go into the core of it, you see everyone in prison. That all kind of makes sense with the theme. Everyone's enslaved and they just want to do it to the Holy Grail. And then I was like, oh, is the Holy Grail going to be the last boss? Really? Okay, this isn't whatever. Like, it's a cool design, but it's just a Grail. But then you weren't beating it, and then it merges, and there's the whole cutscene of where you fade to nothingness, and then, you're about to get it. All that stuff, just the execution. Then it turns out to be Yaldabaoth, and...
breaking your party members out of the Velvet Room prison.
Yeah.
Was touching. Very well done. Excellent use. I'm kind of disappointed they weren't in the other cells around you.
Yeah.
Like, that might have been a little bit much, but still good.
I liked it. I
Still
thought it
good.
was really well done. And then just that final time of when life will change is on, and you're running up the steps to confront Yaldabaoth. You face all the four the four angels, the archangels, and finally get to him. And he talks about how he is a manifestation of the desire of the public, but he also wants to rig his game. I thought, yes, it's another god. Oh yes, the final boss is a deity who's sort of kind of come about at the end of the story, but I feel like this one really built to it. Like, I can't comment on 3 because I haven't played through the full thing. 4, it kind of just came out of nowhere. 5, it made sense to me.
That's the thing, where 3 has the same clear-set theme of life is something you need to give purpose, and death is there as almost, you shouldn't give in to death just because it's there. You need to live in spite of mortality. You know, the phrase memento mori, remember that you are mortal, is everywhere. And coming up to the end of you need to fight the personification of death to prove you're living and fighting off apathy syndrome, it's all tied in throughout the game up until the end. But 4 had, reaching out to the truth and the fog of lies kind of deceiving you. It kind of worked, but not quite as well tying it into every aspect of it as 3.
Yeah.
Of, you shoot yourself in the head to summon your persona. Just, you're laughing in the face of death to truly live. 5 is all about rebellion and, challenging authority when it's wrong, to the point where you're fighting, I think, the Gnostic false god.
Yes. He is Gnostic. I remember Googling it, but I just can't remember what he was exactly. He was a creator or something? I don't know.
He is, not... And again, my, 2 hours of Googling this stuff does not make me an expert. But you being, I think Satanael is Lucifer before the fall.
Yes.
And him, taking the blame and needing to kill the false god who didn't create the world, but took over afterwards somehow. It's all loose and not, I think, King James Bible canonical version.
Yeah.
This is all extra scripture that's, not in the regular Bible, but it's there. Kind of like the Book of Enoch.
Yeah, it's pre-existing.
Biblical fan fiction in a lot of ways.
You're going to find it on my fanfic.net.
Yeah, under Bible. You can kind of treat it as Persona 4 Dancing All Night. It's there if you want it.
Yeah.
They may make a few references, but it's not necessary, and it's certainly not in the main numbered series. That's how we talk about scripture.
I just love those references to... Yeah, there's some DLC, but you don't want it. Mm-hmm. It's fine. You don't need it. You can carry on without it, but...
You don't need the Bible Game of the Year edition to really be saved.
No. There's a few added costumes in there, but yeah, it's fine. You might get an art book. You get the Jesus non-white edition.
Oh, man. I love the Blasphemy Season Pass.
I love the Middle Eastern Jesus version. That's brilliant. That's what I want.
I can't wait for that sequel, Book of Mormon, to come out. I wonder how it's going to rebalance the game. Oh, Lord. Okay. Persona.
Yeah.
Yaldabaoth. You shoot him in the face, and then go to juvie.
And that's the story of how Satan saved Christmas.
Oh shit, I've got hiccups. I was laughing that much I gave myself hiccups. Weird. Okay, I guess we'll just get... Oh shit.
You're good.
Yeah. Oh fuck, I can't even talk.
Uh-oh.
We have been stopped by hiccups. And I guess we'll get into then the story.
Mm-hmm.
Because we talked about Yaldabaoth and that. I thought it made sense that it built up to him, so I was impressed. For fuck's sake, I was impressed at that one. God damn it! Story-wise. I guess we've kind of covered the entire story from just what we've been talking about and the palaces and everything. So
what did you think of, the very end? Because I think they, on purpose, left it a lot more open-ended.
Yeah. I liked the ending, overall. I thought there was a lot of false finishes and false turns.
Yes.
Now,
I think you made the comparison to the third Lord of the Rings movie, where it just kept ending.
Yeah,
or maybe that was my friend Other Brian.
No, yeah, I haven't. But I know, I totally get what he means, because I'm classing the ending from when you fail against the Holy Grail. And there's the part where you go out of existence, part where you're about to be executed. Mm-hmm. Then there's the whole, nope, you're okay. Because I thought I'd fucked up. It's fake Igor, then real Igor comes, then Lavenza comes, and then they explain, what's going on. You reunite and re-galvanize everyone for the final battle. You go for the final battle. You lose. But then you win again, finally, because of support, and everyone's shouting, and I'm trying to really try and power through this hiccup.
Power through these hiccups.
And
I believe in you.
I wish I could have the public cheering me on because of these hiccups. But yeah, you finally beat Yaldabaoth. And then you have about an hour and a half of gameplay that's not really gameplay, but glorified narration, where you have to admit that you were a phantom thief and serve a month or two in prison. Well, juvie, because that's what Sinejima can do, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, because I think it was like either you admit that you and all your friends are phantom thieves and the full extent of what you've done and possibly risk way more repercussions or something like that. I wasn't 100%, I'll be honest, on how...
It was a bit... Yeah, because they needed to nail a conviction. If you testified about the metaverse, then Shido would be sent down. However, you would be caught. It was weird. It was really weird. It was strange.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so you go to juvie. Everyone's sort of down and out because of that. But Morgana Morgana comes back when you come back. But anyway, they all work together to get you out. Fuck's sake. I'm gonna go grab some water in a minute. They all, come together to get you out.
They find the lady who initially fingered you for, lying on behalf of Shido.
Yeah, the one who falsely said that you assaulted him. And she obviously confesses otherwise. Shido clears you of the crime and says that you were innocent as well.
Mm-hmm.
You come out of juvie. You have your farewell party with them. Then you spend Valentine's Day with whoever your girlfriend was. And then I think that's it. And then you are like on your last day. You go around and talk to all your confidants and anyone you match, you grab all the items for New Game Plus. And then it's your last day. But what I really liked about this one, because when Persona 4 ended, there was a bit of a sadness for me, because I got the true ending, killed the god and everything, but then you're just getting on the train and everyone's saying goodbye to you, but then there's sort of a cutscene where you come back, like, next year, to sort of see the gang. But it was sort of a sad farewell. It's like, we've done all this shit, we saved the world, but bye. Whereas with Persona 5, I think it fit the theme of rebellion quite well, where you were making your own way, and then all of a sudden they just fucking pull up in a van and go, come on, dickhead, let's go. And they fucking grab you in. And then you roll off with them, and I really like that, because I know after the scene stops, they'll probably spend a day together and then they'll piss off home. But in my mind, I'm like,
they're doing a road trip to take you home, rather than you just get on the train and look into the distance.
Yeah, and you because then you're in the little sunroof at the very end. The last shot is that, and I really like that, because to me, as a player who's played, we don't know your past life. We only know your life with these guys, and I'm like, stay with these guys.
Yeah,
stay with
especially
them.
Sojiro at that point, I think, would have been more than chill with you're now his son.
Yeah, and you have your girlfriend there. I liked on the Valentine's Day where they talk about they actually address the fucking long distance relationship.
Yes.
I swear in 4 they don't even mention it, and it's like, bye bitch, bye Yukiko, or Chie, or whoever you went with. See you later. Oh fuck's sake, see you later, motherfucker. God damn it.
No, I know exactly what you mean. It's...
They actually address it, and I felt like it addressed a lot more. It built up to a satisfying conclusion, and I just liked it ended with them together. It didn't end on a goodbye. It ended on them supposed to be saying goodbye, but then that last little rebellion where they're like, nah, fuck this, we're going to do it our own way. And I really enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm. They're also, I think, doing that to leave it a lot more open-ended for future sequels. Because I don't know how much you have seen in the news since, but Atlus registered trademarks for a buttload of Persona 5 spin-off.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of registered trademarks and website URLs. We'll see what comes of them. They're obviously expecting it to be something worthy of spin-offs, which it most undoubtedly is. Mm-hmm. It has a huge fan base here and over in Japan. Certainly.
I would love to hear, especially this game and 3, get the Dancing All Night remix treatment. Because, God, I love that. Like, buying the Persona 4 Dancing All Night special edition was worth it just to have the soundtrack.
Yeah. And
getting that, but for all the P5 songs and also some of 3's that never got that touch. Or, heck, even 1 and 2 have some great songs.
Yeah. Fuck's sake. I'm gonna get some water. Fuck this. Yeah, I'd love to see Lotus Juice get a hold of the Persona 5 soundtrack.
I want to hear his rap interlude to Rivers in the Desert.
Oh my god! Rivers in the Desert in a rap remix could definitely work. I'd fucking love to see that.
Ooh.
I feel like we can make it happen.
I know, I think Lotus Juice is kind of a divisive figure amongst some fans that I've seen, but I love that guy.
Me too. His Persona 3 Fez intro was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Backside of the TV remix, amazing.
I still think, despite what I just said about it, Mass Destruction is one of my favorite fight musics in an RPG, just because it is so different.
Yeah, it's really, really good. Shit. We've spoken for nearly 3 hours about Persona.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't really touched on the gameplay, but
it's about the same. It's great.
It's really good. There's quick travel. The dungeons are really good. You can,
I like
rooms.
that there's dungeons and not just randomly generated, dungeon crawls.
Yeah, because they told us it was going to be procedurally generated. Memento says.
Yes.
But the palaces aren't, thank goodness. I do not mind Mementos being procedurally generated, but the palaces are another thing entirely.
I think it's great that you have both options.
Yeah. It's good balance to have that, definitely. Safe rooms are great. The network feature for the school, for the test answers was so
At last
amazing.
I don't have to Google everything.
Yeah, I normally have to bookmark a page whenever I play through them.
Mm-hmm.
Just so I've got all the quiz answers. But yeah, you can just press the network button and it does it for you. It's like an interactive Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. It was brilliant. But that's about all I can think of. I'm all Persona 5'd out for the moment. Is there anything else you can add to it?
I like the thief vision. I think that works really well. I didn't even realize you could use it in the real world until, like, I want to say a month to go.
Oh, really? No, I knew you could use it, because I always kept leaning on my fucking buttons so it'd come up.
Can I say, thank God you didn't have to directly take the subway system to school every day, because I got lost the moment they said go to school.
I got lost. I don't know if anyone guided themselves through that successfully.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was on a fucking timer, because it said something to the effect of don't be late. So I was like, oh shit, I'm in trouble.
Yeah. Do you think... I feel like this game has there's going to be those who say Persona 3 is the worst, but I feel like this is the game where you're the most pressed for time.
Yes.
In terms of days available to days taken up by cutscenes.
Yes. Because I feel like this one, I didn't have... Okay, if you finished a dungeon really early, then you're okay. But, like, it was only that time. Like, it's only if you finished the dungeon early did you have a group of days where you were free. Obviously Morgana telling you to go to fuck sleep all the time.
Yeah. Man, you ate some food. You can't talk to your teacher.
Yeah, I'll know the perk that Kawakami gives, the massage.
Yes, that is a lifesaver for Mementos, like, side missions, because I'd save all of those until, like, all in one swoop, where I just do 2 to 3 floors and knock out all the side missions I needed at once.
Yeah, me too. Like, I'd wait until I had about 4 or 5, and then just really dive it.
Mm-hmm. Which I think works good for that. I think, there needs to be a few balance changes in the inevitable re-release, but I'm still going to play it.
Yeah.
Like, even if they try to add in Marie and, the secret, like... God, the only time I could think they'd be able to fit in another dungeon would be when you're in Juvie, which would be interesting, unless they just start the game earlier and add in a train heist level. I'm really stuck on that train heist.
Yeah, I was the same. I really wanted a train heist on there, but no, we'll see. You never know. The next Persona cast could be the Persona 5 whatever deluxe version. It
could. For the future, I think, because the spin-offs are all handled by different groups, so they might not be written quite as well. There'll be wildly different gameplay. I sent you the concept stuff for the Persona Team's next game, which is not a Persona game. Yeah. It's Project Re-Fantasy.
Yeah. Oh, fuck, yeah.
Which looks like a lot more traditional fantasy RPG. It's got elves and dwarves, and I
by God, I want to see these guys take on that kind of traditional stuff. Make it Dungeons and Dragons and Tolkien and all that.
That'd be really interesting. I'd love to see their take on it. Oh, pardon me. Maybe that'll be the next one we do. Or maybe it'll be Persona 3 when I finish Persona 3.
Please do. I would love to talk about Persona 3 at length.
Personacast, Persona 5 spoiler cast. In the bag. Thanks for listening to the last 3 hours, I guess. This is probably going to turn into. Thank you. Yeah, but we are going to hit the bricks. This is the true ending. This isn't a bad ending. So, you know, it's all good. We're going to take your heart. The Big Ball Posse is out.
Snod Squad, out.
The Snod Squad, out. See you later, guys. Bye.
Bye.